World, we are back at it again for another dope episode of the Morning Breeze. I am your host, Pat the Designer, joined by the pettiest man alive, Mr. P.kidd. What's going on with you, kid, man? Another morning, another early morning. They get them earlier and earlier the later we get in the year. And we just started the year. You know what I'm saying?
Still don't know who signed up for this.
You.
Apparently.
In fact,
Apparently.
your suggestion.
Yeah, it wasn't a 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. show.
Oh, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. Excuse me. Apparently, I'm starting the morning dying. It's a great way to start your show off. You know what I'm saying? Got some good topics today. You see me dying over here a little bit. I don't know where it came from either. Got some good topics today, though, man. Big Ben played his last game in Heinz Field, man. What do we rank Ben all time? That's going to be the early question there. And then listen, Portland coming away with a big dub yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Coming away with a big dub yesterday, but without both of their stars. Was that one of those games where you look at it and you're like, maybe we can move on from one of these dudes, man? We're going to talk about that. Then we're coming up to Kwame versus the world. Do we really care? You know what I'm saying? Do we really care? Klay and Kyrie return. How will that affect the league? How will that affect our Bulls? Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. Let's get into the show, my boy. Let's start it off. Big Ben came away last night in a dub, beating the Cleveland Browns, finishing his final game in Pittsburgh. Right off into the sunset. But I started looking at Ben last night. And for some reason in my mind, I was like, I never really throw Ben in those top quarterbacks all-time conversation. So I came into the morning thinking, where do we rank him? Where do we put him? Is he above a Breeze? Is he below a Breeze? Is he anywhere near a Rodgers? Is he anywhere near those top guys? Is he above a lot of the legends that have come in and out of even just like the Troy Aikmans, the Dan Marino? Is he anywhere near those guys? You know what I'm saying? Where do we rank Big Ben all time? How do we put a bow on Big Ben's career, what he did out in Pittsburgh? Is he the best quarterback Pittsburgh's ever had?
Now, that's an interesting question. See, now you done threw me for a loop. Because I was prepared for the rest of them. But is he the best QB Pittsburgh has ever had? I'm going to go on a limb and say yeah, because I don't know too many legends that played it.
Well, there's one that you see at least every single week on the panel.
Yeah, that's true. Let's look this up for a second. But to answer the question, is he above a Breeze? Heck no. Not above a Breeze.
More
You know,
Super
I'm a
Bowls.
Breeze. You know, I'm a Drew Brees fan. No, I ain't above no Breeze. Now, if you want to say, is he above a Phillip Rivers? Oh,
I
yeah.
think, of course, he's above Phillip Rivers. He's got a ring. He's got 2 rings.
Hey, that don't mean anything according to everyone else. According to our new way of calculating wins and losses and stuff like
Hey,
that.
listen, we don't go by that metric on this show, my boy.
Oh, is that,
Championships absolutely mean something on this show, and they always will. I don't care what nobody says. That's the dumbest thing to ever come out of this new generation of sports fans. Oh my God, I want LeBron to be great, so rings don't mean anything anymore. Why do you play the game? Listen, rings absolutely mean so. I say this: Super Bowls mean even more because they're even harder to get to.
I agree with that.
They're even harder to get to. There's some dudes that are great, never get to a Super Bowl. Big Ben has been to. Has he been to only 2, or has he been to 3? I know he's won 2. He won in 2006, won in 2009. Better team.
Is he better than Terry Bradshaw?
Is he better than Terry? Is he the best quarterback Pittsburgh has ever had? Is he to me? Oh, you know what? it's tough to say is he above Breeze because you know what Breeze went through in New Orleans. It's just like, yeah, Breeze was getting these mugs to some big games with literally one side of the ball not being a factor.
I mean, if wins matter, I mean, Terry got four of them things.
Terry's got 4 bowls, man.
He got
Terry's
four
part of one of the
bowls.
best Pittsburgh teams of all time. That doesn't mean he was the. I guess if you want to say, if we want to break it down, rings versus talent.
Hey,
You know,
Terry has almost a 1-to-1 ratio with TDs and turnovers, though.
man, that's every quarterback back then. It cracks me up when I go back and look at it. It honestly cracks me up when I go back and look at it. Like quarterbacks back in the day, it was like, fam, like y'all was just throwing that mug up there, wasn't it? What was the route? Go.
Dog. That have to be the only play, because I mean, nah, I got Big Ben over Terry.
There's some old dude right now just flipping tables like my dad last night.
Hey, flip a
Disappointed
table.
that his son didn't have Artist Gilmore etched into his brain.
Flip a table. I mean, I can compare Terry to his contemporaries, and his numbers don't look that great, because not every old school QB has those type of numbers. His completion ratio is 51% for his career.
Well, I'll say this. From that era, from Terry's era, because Terry played in what, the 70s?
Yes, he did.
They probably all looking pretty similar to that time. I'm not gonna lie. It's legit one of them where it was like, what was the quarterback doing? Hand the ball off. We needed somebody to hand the ball off, so we created your position.
Let's see. I'm a. I'm gonna
I
keep.
could
We can
agree
keep.
with you though. I got Ben over Terry skill wise, but I think that the quarterbacks today are better. But even comparing him to his contemporaries, you know what I'm saying? I think we all agree he's below. Um, we all agree he's below Aaron. We probably all agree he's below Tom Brady. If you don't, I mean, you seeing through Pittsburgh colored glasses. But then you start looking at those other guys. Is he above an Eli? Is he above a Peyton? Is he above?
I got him
Uh,
above Eli.
is he above? You know what I'm saying? How do we quantify what his career was in Pittsburgh?
I definitely got him above Eli.
So are we
He-
saying? I mean, are we top 5 all time? Big Ben,
Wait,
QB. He break
so,
that top 5, top 10?
nah, no, slow down, slow down. So I got him over Eli. Okay, you went from. Did we say top five? Because I said over Eli. Like
No, not because of that.
what?
Not because of Eli. Hey, it was a hard transition. I apologize for that. It's very early. You know what I'm saying?
You jumped
Um,
straight to the juggler. It's like, oh yes, he's top five, right? No, no. Let's. Hold on, wait a second. I gotta wake up a little bit. uh,
Did you put him top 5? Because I said Eli. Is Eli top 5?
it's like, where'd you get this correlation from? Um,
Oh, that
Man,
was funny.
top 10, yeah, because Eli's technically top 10 statistically, believe it or not.
Hmm.
Eli's top 10, and well, Eli is currently top 10 for, I think, 2 or 3 major stats historically.
Yeah,
Last time I looked, but I don't know if they included active players
I
in
tell
that
you what.
list.
I think, and James Flippin not gonna like this. He said we got to chill with the Eli slander. Listen, I tell you what. The fact that Eli is there tells you exactly what the quarterback position was before.
Oh, wow.
Tells you exactly what the quarterback position was before. You know what I'm saying? Not to say Eli was bad by any means of the imagination, but it's like he was a dude that had great moments. You know, he was a part of the team. Like if we were gonna do our top 10, and then you got 15 through 20, then you got 20 through 30. Eli's probably in that 10 through 20.
Eli's in a 10 through 20.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's no disrespect. It's just like listen, Philip Rivers was in the top 10 and Philip would be losing every single year. So I'd rather be in the 10 through 20 with 2 rings on my finger that I can backhand you with than in the top 10
Man,
losing every year.
I will have to say this though. On paper though, Eli looks good.
On paper, Eli looks great, but that also tells you where the quarterback position was at. Because if you look at some of them legends, Eli's dominating them, dominating them. Hey,
I mean,
you just looked up Terry Bradshaw. He's the quarterback of one of the most iconic teams of all time. Eli's dominating him.
Eli looks good. Eli looks good compared to some of the people in his class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. He wasn't a bad quarterback. He was just
I
he
can't
was
call him just a guy. He's on the
yeah, one
list.
of the 53. You know what I'm saying?
He's definitely on the list. You could argue he's over Philip Rivers. Well, he's definitely over Philip Rivers.
Well, listen, you get a couple of pieces of jewelry, you over Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I don't look at the QB position that way.
I look at it that way if you're the reason, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference to me. Like there's being the reason you win a Super Bowl and there's being like Joe Flacco relied on that defense, but in the playoffs was absolutely the reason that the Ravens got that bowl. You know what I'm saying? That defense was great, but all of a sudden Flacco could play football. Then the regular season came back and he forgot it. But with Eli was the reason that they beat Brady. Coming down the stretch, I just get into an Eli conversation, really.
Because we looked at his numbers and it was like, hey, Eli had some depth, definitely had some good moments.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what? I can't say he's definitely over Philip Rivers because Philip Rivers, as much as people like to kill him for turning the ball over, which really happened later in his career a lot more than it did in the beginning. Philip Rivers was not only slinging that thing, he was definitely doing it at a very efficient clip. Very efficient clip.
Oh yeah, that's why I said he was a top 10 QB, but he was not
Yeah,
gonna
Philip.
win.
I would say Philip Rivers and Eli like neck and neck just from a skills wise thing, but that jury does hold a lot more weight. I mean, Philip Rivers and Eli are not at the same table when it comes to who've accomplished more.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I can't sit there and give that type of slander. All right, getting back to the question at hand, where does that put Big Ben? Um,
I mean, it all goes into it. You know, you got to break down where these guys are because now Eli's career is done. Oh, he's another one where you got to look at it and say, man, is he
I got Ben over Eli.
been over Eli? I mean, listen, as much as we talk about it, Aaron's career is nowhere near over. Aaron Rodgers is the greatest talented quarterback that I've ever seen. But let's not act like Ben wasn't a big part of why those teams won Super Bowls and got to those Super Bowls. How much weight do we put on that? I mean, when the rankings are done, when careers are over, like Ben's career absolutely done. Aaron probably will play another 5 years. This could all be moot point, but say Aaron doesn't win another one. Where do we finish the ranking there?
Oh, Aaron is still over Ben, just because no one like Aaron would have more MVPs. Well, Aaron currently has more MVPs. Ben has
Yeah,
never won
currently,
MVP. Um, Ben has never been consistently heralded as the best QB in sports. I mean, best QB in NFL. Aaron Rodgers has.
I
Um,
agree with you.
it's
But
not to denigrate.
it's his
For
moment.
one, because I don't like the way I framed it. It's not to denigrate Ben because he's had a good, he's had a great career. He's
Yeah.
had a great career. Um, I will put him as number 8,
Top eight
top
comes
8,
in at 8.
top 8. I'll read you the list in a second because I know people are like, why 8?
Was a random number. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, all right, let's go with it.
Well, all time Eli is coming in at 9 based off this list, but again, this list has some asterisks on it, so I don't know exactly how we look at that.
I'm not
But
gonna lie.
Eli coming in at
Looking at
9.
Ben numbers though, 2-to-1 ratio. 2-to-1 ratio, 63,000 passing yards.
Hey, Go to Phillip Rivers. His numbers are the exact same.
Oh yeah, I know. Absolutely. That's what I said. Not a bad dude at all.
Like,
Just didn't get it done.
it's really weird. They have the same 63,000 yards, 64% completion rate, 2-to-1 ratio. Phillip Rivers has a 421 to 209 ratio going right there. It's kind of wild, you know. It's really close.
The 420, yeah. It's
And
very
drafted same year.
very similar.
Drafted same year.
Yeah.
They same amount of Pro Bowls. No, Phillip Rivers has more Pro Bowls.
Phillip Rivers more of a likable guy, probably.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably would.
Ben has a few reasons why he's not selected to more Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
How about this? Ben outplaying Baker Mayfield, if you want to call it like that. We know Baker Mayfield may not end up on the greatest of all time list.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Browns fans who pulled up thinking that was going to go differently.
Here's a well, that's a storied rivalry for some reason too. Here's the kind of off topic, but also a question that I wanted to get into. With what you've seen coming down the stretch, you paying Baker? You almost choked.
What's wrong with you? Being so blasphemous in the morning. What is your problem? See, I thought we was friends. I thought we were cool. Am I paying Baker? You paying Baker?
Listen.
Ask me a question like that.
Baker looking real Mitch lately. That's all I'm saying.
First off, I'm gonna need you to get this straight because Mitch has never had a QBR this low.
This is true. I give you that. Which is impressive, but But you don't got a leg to stand on just because we ain't seen this man in the one time we did. You gotta hold it for a little while, though.
I'm gonna hold it.
You gotta hold
the
it
simple fact that we ain't seen him in so long, and he still has a better QBR than Baker Mayfield. It lets you know that Baker Mayfield is just very mid. I'm just hey, nah.
And here's the thing, right? Like, it's interesting. Kind of like Tom said, has he not shown enough flashes though? It's talk about Baker, and we have seen Baker be a very efficient quarterback. We've seen Baker have multiple weeks of him being good, but we've also seen Baker absolutely have multiple weeks of being bad. I like Cornelius. Now Baker is just a guy. Shout out to everybody in the chat here this early, man. And it's one of those where I keep thinking back to what Amon said, and I feel like it's transcended all sports. If this was at this point, I got to stop saying 20 years, not 20 years ago, 2022. If this was 20 years ago, they would absolutely keep Baker because he has shown enough flashes, because he has, played at that level. They would try to draft his replacement, but they would absolutely pay the dude that's in place so that you still got a guy that's a competent quarterback and try to find his replacement behind the scenes. Now, they're probably moving on from Baker. They're probably going to make a run at one of those quarterbacks that maybe gets out of there. But the question's there for all of them. Do you pay Carr out in Oakland? Especially with a new regime coming in, maybe they want a fresh start. Do you pay
you definitely pay Derek Carr. Derek Carr gets hate that he doesn't deserve. Derek Carr is absolutely one of the best QBs in the game right now.
This also, does Derek Carr want to stay?
That's a better question.
But if you're a new coaching regime and all of that coming in, maybe you do want to build this thing again from the ground up.
Yeah, you're not going to get too much talent that's going to be able to give you the type of production that he does right away. So
no, you're not. But
he has years left. Derek Carr is relatively young compared to what QBs are doing right now.
What is he, 33? 33 for Derek Carr? Somewhere in there.
That's your favorite question.
What?
And then that's your favorite statement. How old is he?
Well, that's more of a question.
33.
You had it right the first time.
He's 30.
30 for Derrick Carr.
Yeah, Derek Carr could play for
I'd
another
pay
10
Derrick.
years.
Listen. I'd absolutely pay Derrick Carr. But it's also, does Derek Carr want to be there? Is he going to stick around in there? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of factors in Derek Carr sticking or staying there and playing. Mostly, like, are they going to put an offense around him for him to be successful, or does he go to some? I mean, listen, we look at that Browns offense. You got Kareem Hunt. You got weapons on the outside still. You got a pretty decent O-line. The one question mark is always Baker.
You put Derek Carr on the team that Baker has inherited, with especially when he had OBJ.
Yeah.
We're not even having the same conversation as far as what the Browns and where they're going to be.
And with
And
that defense, dog,
dog, the Browns would dominate with a better QB. With a QB that has the completion ratio of Derek Carr. Derek Carr has a 69% completion ratio this
yeah,
year,
nice.
which shows you that, hey, he's putting the ball in spots where his guys can grab the rock. So at this point, yeah, nah, I'd pay Derek Carr in a heartbeat. If you're looking for a QB and Derek, you see, I mean, it's going to be interesting this offseason. There's some QBs
Gonna
moving
be some
around.
QB movement, man. Russ is on the move. Now, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. Cleveland, you got no shot at Russ. Any place that's not a good place,
A major name.
a major name play, you got no shot. Russ
Eh,
isn't going to Jacksonville. Russ isn't going. Listen, the teams that got a shot, New York,
I wouldn't say that.
I would, because
Jacksonville is still in
Sierra's
Florida.
got to go with him.
Jacksonville is still in Florida. Miami ain't too far.
Nah,
We're talking about people who
I
can.
could see him in Miami. I could see him go to Miami.
I absolutely see that.
And listen, if I'm gonna go to a team in Florida, it's not gonna be Jacksonville.
Yeah, and I think Miami. I think Tua's done. Not because he's like horrible, but just because of everything that's there. They've been trying to move on from Tua this entire
Hey,
time.
they be disrespecting Tua. Tua been in trade talks since he got drafted.
Tua just get put on the jersey like, yeah, we're trading you. It's like, God dang, it just got
What?
here.
I just
Uh,
got here. It's warm. Nah, it's interesting to see, kind of like, especially with the movement we're gonna see. Where does Aaron Rodgers go? Does that put Teddy Bridgewater back on the market? Is Teddy done enough? There's gonna be, they're like your big names, and then there's gonna be some guys. There's gonna be a ton of quarterback movement here, and somebody's gonna pay these mugs.
Mitch is getting a starting job.
Mitchell probably get a starting job. I'll stand with you on that. Where all right.
I can see Mitch getting a starting job in Carolina.
What's your Mitch moment? Where does Mitch go?
Carolina
Nah.
or
Maybe.
Carolina or Texas.
I wouldn't go there though. And
I mean,
listen,
I wouldn't go there by choice, but if they're
listen,
gonna throw the bag,
I'm not going anywhere that don't have an offensive line. If I'm Mitch, I've lived that life already. That's my pick right there, Mike. Washington. I think he could go in there and compete with Tyler Heineke and come out with the dub on that.
I think they need to give Tyler Heineke another year. Tyler Heineke is really good to me.
Yeah, he up and down. He nice. He up and down,
I
man.
mean, he's had his second year starting.
No,
No,
this
first
is
year
first year
starting.
starting. Last year he came in the playoffs and almost took out or maybe this is his second year. Maybe this is his second year because he was playing against Brady. He almost beat Brady, didn't he? Remember? Like
Yeah,
that was like his first game ever.
yeah. No, I think Tyler Heineke is gonna be good. I think you, if since we're all people kill me, they say I don't like let people develop. Let them develop. Let him develop.
Hey, I'm
I
not gonna
think
lie
he.
to
I
you.
think he.
Hey,
I think he'll
hey,
be
nah,
good.
hey, listen. Since you've been here, you've traded a lot of people that have started to work out. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Who have I traded to start to work out?
Oh, Kobe White's starting to work out a little bit now. Taylor
I'd
Heineke.
still
Yeah, we,
trade him.
we
I'm
definitely
not.
said Tyler Heineke.
I
Taylor
still trade him. Trust me. Trust me. And listen, I'm glad he's working out. But you know who can give me that same production I need? Jeremy Grant. It's out of here. Hey,
Jeremy
guess
Grant
what?
not coming off the bench though.
Hey, Jeremy Grant may not come off the bench. That means somebody got to rotate to the bench. Hey, that's all I'm saying.
Devontae Green giving you that scoring? Come on,
Hey,
though.
dog. That means
We're not
somebody got
doing
to
this.
rotate to the bench. I don't
Yeah,
care.
nah, I don't know, dog. He's got a 20 to 15 touchdown to interception ratio, 3,200 yards, completion percentage of 65%,
He's better than Tua.
86.5 QBR.
He's better than Tua.
Okay, that don't tell me much.
He's better than a lot of QBs who actually had their first start. Like, I mean, at this point, he's better than Baker.
Mm.
The numbers actually prove it. He's not better than Baker last year. Last
I
year,
was gonna
Baker had a good
say
year.
he better than Baker, but Baker's struggling right now. But I've seen the game.
Hey, hold on. Baker's had one good year if you look at those
Hey,
numbers.
Baker Mayfield, well,
Hey,
that's a whole different thing. Somebody
so
said Mr. Miami, mark it down.
I can see it happening. I can see Tyler staying they got Tyler Heineke for cheap. They got him on a really cheap contract, and he's not.
You gonna
He's a
get Mitch?
little
You're not throwing the bag at Mitch.
he's a little more than serviceable. But I mean, Mitch is going to get 10 million plus. Yes, he's going to get 10 million plus.
I doubt it.
That's what the market dictates for those for that type
That's
of start
okay.
for a starting QB.
Hey, listen, the market
Well,
dictates.
starting QB is a little more.
Hey, listen. The market dictates. Hey, if you want this job, you're gonna take whatever bag we throw at you, or you can go on somewhere. But there's too much QB movement this season.
It's too much QB movement, and the incoming QB class sucks.
We say that all the time, and then Muzz come in and play well.
Well, hey,
You know what I'm saying? Like
they have to develop because ain't nobody coming in top.
that's my favorite statement of every single draft. It's just freaking what's buddy that look like Hawkeye Mihawk or whatever that mud what that mug name is, Mel Kiper. Come in every year just like, this is the worst quarterback class we've seen in 20 years. And it'd be like 4 Hall of Famers in that mug. Yeah, we didn't even talk about your favorite guy. Where's Deshaun Watson go next year? Does he play? Because he might be down in Miami.
Wherever he goes, greatness will follow.
There's gonna be, man, it's there's so much movement this offseason. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's gonna come down to the interesting part to me isn't the big names. The interesting part to me is like the conversation we were having. Do you pay the dudes that aren't the big names? Do you give Baker Mayfield a multi-year contract? Do you give Mitch a multi-year contract? Or are we finna see a bunch of 1-year deals flying around here?
Mitch is going to get a 1-year deal.
Mitch probably gets a 1-year deal.
Anytime you go from a backup to a starter after what's happened in your first go around, he's going to get a 1-year deal, 10, 15 million, see how it works.
Jimmy G looking for a new, and I ain't gonna lie to you, Trey was slanging that thing.
Was he?
Trey
I didn't
was.
watch it.
Jimmy G looking for a new team next year. There's gonna be some movement, dog.
Hey, listen, the Jimmy G slander, like when he has a bad game, they say you don't know what Jimmy G is going to show. Like, but then he'll go on to have like 2, 3 good games, and it's like, yeah, but we've seen this before. It's like, well, we've seen this with any QB. I can go back to Tom Brady, and he's had some very up and down moments this season. Like every QB's had up and down moments this season. Why are we sitting there like, yeah, Tom Brady has had some up and down moments this season?
He might have had a game, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Tom will have a bad game and then go on a 4-game stretch,
You know
then
what
have
I'm saying?
a bad game.
I don't know about a moment. You know,
Jimmy
like,
G have a bad game and then go on a 3-game stretch, then have a bad game, then it's like a 2-game stretch, and then they're like, well, look at him, he's crumbling and stuff like that. It's like, no, he's not. Like it's a lot of other factors as to why he's not being productive. Probably got a lot to do with the people in front of him not protecting him. You ever looked at that part? like
I'll tell
Tom
you
Brady
this right
doesn't get
now.
hit.
As much as you hyping up Jimmy G, them numbers looking real Tyler Heineke or Taylor Heineke, whatever he is.
Hey, listen.
Numbers looking real Taylor Heineke. You know
You know my whole thing. I am real big on
Man, he
not
is up
being where
and
I
down
am
though,
not.
dog. Look, listen to his QBRs here. 88, 123, 103, 93, 90. No, actually, it's pretty good.
I was just waiting on
What do you
the
got? 120. No, it's a drop off. Oh, here it comes. 126, 141, 100, 100. Now this is 3 weeks in a row. 60, 79, 87. And then he got 100, 124, 90. You know what? I agree with you. Jimmy G's better than a lot of quarterbacks. Jimmy G's gonna get paid this offseason. He's gonna go somewhere and he's gonna get paid this offseason. If I'm being real with you, if I'm the Titans, I would offer him bread.
Jimmy
Because that's the
G,
kind of quarterback you need to pair with Derrick Henry.
Jimmy G in the right situation, it's gonna dominate.
I don't know about that.
Nick Foles in the right situation could still dominate. Hey, Nick Foles with a good O line can still pick you apart. I'm sorry. That's why. That's
Well,
why.
you gotta go.
Like,
That's the thing. You gotta go to the right play caller too. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the right play. Like, let's be real.
there's so much
Jimmy
that goes into this conversation.
Jimmy G. How much do we put on Jimmy G? How much we put on Kyle Shanahan?
Like,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Kyle don't want the guy.
Kyle don't want the guy. That tells me a lot about what we might be missing. Because
We went through that.
I'll say this: Kyle Shanahan to me is not a good head coach. He's an excellent play caller. He's an excellent play caller, but he's not a good head coach. But
I wonder how many QBs' careers were railroaded because of that. Like Vince Young comes to mind. Career absolutely railroaded by it, and it's not even a secret at this point. Not even a secret. Like his career took a nosedive because they just didn't rock with him.
yeah,
You know, like, but how many QBs have suffered that fate?
probably a bunch. It's probably people that did. I tell you this: I always thought there's always like that. Everybody has that one quarterback that you're just like, what happened with this dude? Why isn't this? Why didn't he get more of a shot? I always thought AJ McCarron was going to be a really good quarterback coming out of Alabama. I thought he was going to be that one Alabama quarterback that could do it. And AJ could slang that thing in college. Never even got a shot. I don't think he's ever had a start.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, dog, like, who'd you piss off that you never started? Or did you just accept your role? You know what I'm saying? Did you just say, "Oh, I'm gonna be a backup in the NFL forever"? Like, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but like I look at Jimmy G and I do got to ask myself how much of it is Kyle. Is it a Jared Goff situation? How much of it is you're actually good at your job? How much of it is your offensive coordinator and your head coach are putting you in the best position to be successful, and you can't improvise without being in that position? Which is not a bad thing. Like Jared Goff could go to another great OC and have his career revitalized.
Hey, you know what? Jared Goff to me is one of those people who is going to change, has an opportunity to change the narrative, and I think he will. I think he's going to shape up to be like Tannehill.
You be rocking with the weirdest quarterbacks, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd be like, hey man, look at this nice shiny piece. He's killing it right now. Hey, yeah, all right. But Jared Goff over here.
I mean, hey, listen, we can. A lot of people are going to kill me for that one. I don't care.
Jared Goff,
Um,
17 touchdowns, 8 interceptions this year. You know what? You know what I don't like? I don't like that this don't show me the fumbles because Jared Goff has absolutely had some of the dumbest fumbles I've ever seen in my life.
well, it only counts if the other team gets the ball.
Well, yeah, that's what a fumble's called. How
No,
many
you can fumble the ball and your team recovers it.
how many fumbles he got this year? Yeah, he don't be doing that though. Fumbles and fumbles lost. 2 fumbles. How many he got this year? He's got another 5 fumbles lost, and he's fumbled the ball 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times this season.
Oh, hey, listen.
Hey, some of the dumbest fumbles ever too. It's just like the ball snapped to him and hits him in the hands, and then just falls to the floor. Like, what the heck am I looking at, dog?
Who leads the league in sacks right now?
Robert Quinn.
No. I mean, haven't been sacked.
Justin. Justin up there.
Yeah, Justin is up there.
Justin up there.
Justin is up there. Oh, good lord.
Justin been sacked at least
Jared.
32 times in 10 starts, my G. Man, no, maybe 11 starts.
Um, this season it is so far as Jared Goff.
Justin is third. Yeah, that tells you a lot about where your team is at. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hold on. Nah, well, that stat muse is just off.
What it say? Stat
Burrow
means
is
it's
still
usually pretty good.
Burrow is number one, 51
That's not
sacks.
surprising at all. Whatever that number is, absolutely.
Fields is third is Baker,
Third is Baker.
43.
God dang.
Ryan
I'll say this
Tannehill's
though. This is the part.
46.
You know what's crazy? That's the part we don't take into account. We just look at the quarterback, right? We look at Baker. Baker, he's playing bad. We look at Justin. Justin had a down season. I really want to know what people be evaluating when they look at these ones. I'd be like, well, you get hit 43 times. There's only 17 of these. 43 times is a lot of times to get hit.
Yeah, but that don't mean that don't have nothing to do with your skill set because
Well, Baker's
Joe.
different. Baker be overthrowing mugs by a mile.
But Baker is injured, so getting sacked with a shoulder injury don't help.
That, but there's a lot of factors that go into it. Like it's one of those things that I look at with the quarterback position this year, and I'm like, even Justin's fumbled like 9 times. I think he's thrown 8 interceptions. Like, yeah, he started 11 games. He's been hit 31 times.
Listen, I'm a call a spade a spade. The kid was put in an improbable situation, and I don't fault him for this. But this has to be one of the worst 12 games I've seen a QB start in my life. Okay, like this has to be one of the worst 12 games I've
You ain't
seen.
been watching Bears football long enough, my boy.
No, well, I've been watching long enough to know that this guy that hey, listen, this right here
Hey,
with
listen,
this fumbles and everything like that
no.
is now again, I'm
The
not
fumbles
faulting
is a problem. The fumbles is a problem because a lot of times it's just him holding the ball out.
the fumbles, the turnovers. I'm sorry, it's a lot of that he can control. A lot of that he can control.
Nah, because I think the
He
thing
can
with
control the
Justin,
fumbles. He absolutely can control the fumbles.
some of the fumbles,
Some of them.
he was absolutely getting blindside destroyed. Uh,
But how many of that was
Where's
like
Justin? He's under that big dude that's got the ball now.
I've seen Justin stare down the linebacker coming towards him. Like, dog.
That's stuff to me, but that's stuff like those are the moments to me where I look and I'm like, all right, that's a rookie quarterback. Like I'm going through my progression and I see you open and like I'm getting it to you. Like that's a rookie quarterback. Some of them picks as well this season, we would have to go back and look through them, but some of them mugs absolutely hit mugs in the hands, and then the ball just went straight up in the air and be like, hey, fam, you're supposed to catch that.
All I gotta say is this. If it wasn't a QB if it was a QB that we wasn't so
Yeah,
hot,
yeah. You must have forgot about Rex Grossman. Absolutely. hey, hey, awful dog. Come on now. You must have forgot about Sexy Rexy, my boy. Throwing that mug clean off that back foot.
hey, Sexy Rexy's first 16 starts.
Hey, bro, nah, you can't.
Hey, dog,
Hey,
nah,
I don't care what the numbers say. I saw it.
I saw it too.
I don't care what the
I saw
numbers
it
say.
too. Hey, listen, I was there for the burning of Rex Grossman's jerseys. Like, trust me, I remember those times because I used to clown all the Bears fans, right? Um, yeah, no, y'all go look at those numbers and be fair. Be fair. Give him his first season we played 16 games, and you compare it to Justin's.
Bro, his first season when he played 16 games was the Super Bowl year.
I
He
know.
was he was not a factor.
Listen, you all go look at it. I'm not saying that Rex Grossman is better. I'm not saying Rex Grossman is even there. I'm saying the Justin Fields' first career start, 12 games, horrible go. A lot of it not his fault,
Hey,
but a horrible go.
20, 23 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, 54% completion.
54% completion rate.
Hey, bro, this mug sucked.
The man was trash.
Hey, bro,
The man was trash.
this man sucked, dog.
Man was
Hey, I
garbage.
tell you this. I absolutely. You know what? I see a
You
lot of.
thought it was going to be more ints than touchdowns, though. Tell the truth.
No, I knew he threw more touchdowns, but I absolutely knew it was close. But I'm trying to see them fumbles. Dog. That dude was awful, bro.
Dude was awful.
That dude was awful. He had a QBR of 48 that season.
All right. Hold on. Do you know what Justice QBR is right now?
Can't be much better.
It's no. It's not even. It's less. It's almost half of what Rex Grossman's seasons
Yeah.
was. It's 25.
Yeah.
A lot of it not his fault.
You know what's crazy?
A lot of it not his fault.
With Justin, don't you see one of them? Like I definitely could see Justin. I'm trying to see the game by game breakdowns on this one. I could definitely see Justin like him becoming one of them stories like Peyton. Like
Yeah, I can see that.
First season was one of the worst football seasons
I can see that.
ever seen.
I can absolutely.
Now he's a Hall of Famer. Like I just see his game and I'm just like, no, he can play football. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, no, he can play football. That dude really sucks. That offensive line in front of him really sucks. I watched Rex Grossman. I knew the second I saw this when he ran backwards, looked over his shoulder, and was like, it might be somebody there. I was like, this dude can't play football.
He was playing Tecmo Bowl.
Bro, I don't know what Rex was playing.
He was launching that thing.
Hey,
Hey, that's why he was one of my favorite QBs to watch.
if you ever want to see Rex Grossman at his best, go watch Rex Grossman versus the Cardinals when the Bears came back. Bro, it's one play legit. He got the snap, just ran backwards. He never turned around to look at his receivers and just turned around and launched that mug into like 6 Arizona Cardinals. I was like,
he didn't even think about it. He
bro,
just said,
never.
skip it.
Dog.
Hey, how many times was he sacked?
Fam. You know, and listen, you know how many times he got sacked that year?
Oh, God.
21. Wasn't even a bad offensive line, dog.
Wasn't even a bad offensive line comparatively.
Hey, dog. Oh, ain't no drop back. What did
Oh, man.
Pat Mahomes ran for 500 yards the other direction and still had a more productive game than Rex Grossman did in the Super Bowl.
Patrick Mahomes ran for 500 negative yards and still had a
better game, bro.
Oh, man. Now, hey, listen, all I got to say is, let's drop my phone in.
You'll be all right.
Nah, I ain't that rich yet. Definitely not replacing this bad boy right now.
Oh, dog, that's funny, dog. He was so bad. Bro, we've had awful quarterbacks, bro.
In recent history that I can sit there and say had a worse rookie year than Justin Fields so far is Jared Goff.
Oh, Peyton Manning.
Nah, it wasn't that bad. It was bad, but it wasn't that bad.
Didn't Peyton Manning throw 21 interceptions his rookie year?
All right. He did. No, he definitely slang that thing in the opposite direction.
I think he was like 11 and 21. And Peyton Manning, it was awful.
Oh, it was 26 touchdowns, 28 INTs. But I mean, if we really want to,
hey, look, and never threw more than 25 again.
Never.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that's a lot of INTs. He did have a season with 23.
I give you one better. He never threw more than 20 again.
No, he did.
Oh yeah, one time,
Through 23
2003.
one year. 26 and 23. Um, I'm trying to see.
What do you see 26 at?
2001, he threw 26 touchdowns, 23 interceptions.
It was season number 20. That's since then. But no, outside of that, no, that's
Three.
nowhere near as. Hey, listen, if Justin had this as his first year, I'd be like, yeah, he's definitely going to be great. Like, no, no, this is actually a really good year. Hey, Peyton Manning threw that thing for
Hey, no, this is
575.
not a really good year, though. This is not a really good year.
No, it's not a good year, but
Hey,
comparatively,
hey, comparatively,
it's a
him and
great year.
him and Rex were in the same position right here. 56% completion rating, 26 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. Oh,
Nah,
71 QBR. Nah, he ain't that bad. They gave
nah,
that man a solid 48.
nah.
They gave
Hey,
that man a solid 48.
hey, for that to be,
Rex was so bad. Oh man. Oh. Oh my God. I love that we started the morning show with Rex Slander. That's awesome, dog. That is a great way to start the day. That I needed that to get me going, man. just anytime you think back about Rex Grossman, just go watch that Arizona play where he
God
just
dang.
runs the other direction. Never looks to see if anybody's open.
Hey, Derrick Carr really got sacked 76 times? David Carr.
David Carr. Yeah, no, they did. David Carr is David Carr to me absolutely could have been a good quarterback. But he was in the worst of worst situations his entire career. You know how you said yesterday, AB has just gone through a cavalcade or you asked, has AB just gone through a cavalcade of misfortunate situations?
Dog,
That's Derek Carr.
I've
That is
never,
Derek Carr.
I've never seen, I've never seen a number that high on sacks. I ain't gonna lie to you. No, here's the part that gets me. He was sacked 76 times his rookie year. That means they hate you.
Hey, hey,
15 times
hey,
is
what was the movie? Was that Longest Yard where he turned
just,
his back on him and they just stood up?
yeah. Dog, he got sacked 49 times his junior season, and then 4 years in, 68 times. He was the most sacked QB 3 of the first 4 years he played.
Bro, I've always believed that David Carr could play football, but he was never in a good position to be successful. Never. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think David Carr started a quarterback camp. And I believe he's the one that worked with Joe Burrow. Like the season in between him. Maybe that's not David Carr. Maybe that's somebody else. I think it's David Carr though. In the season from like Joe going to where was he at before? Because he was somewhere and then he transferred and then he went and threw 50 touchdowns. Like in between that, David Carr, he left Houston with 249 sacks. They hate you. Hey, man,
That's actually kind of sad. That actually makes my heart hurt. Because I mean,
bro,
can you imagine like you get
listen,
into the league, you think you're going to do something, and then all of a sudden, bam, you get hit 76 times.
I'm fighting somebody.
Dog,
I'm
you
fighting
got
somebody.
hit
You got to fight
76.
at least one lineman. Smallest one, preferably.
Like I wish I would get hit 76 times, and you sit there and say, "Well, why are you throwing so many
Right. You
ints?"
do. You know what? That's that. Hey, look, backhand him with it, David. You deserve it. He do got a ring with the Giants. He was a backup. Backhand somebody with it, David. You deserve it. Go find one of them linemen that was standing in front of you and hey man, how you doing? I haven't seen you since I was laying on the ground. Pow! Joe went to Ohio State, then went to LSU. Yeah, that season in between, I believe he worked with David Carr. And That's how I know David Carr can play quarterback. He understands the fundamentals of it. He understands like what he needs to do, where you need to have perfect placement, stuff like that. Dog, man, come on now. Poor kid. Kid really looking at this man numbers. He really depressed over there for him.
Dog,
Like, hey,
dog,
kid,
I
he's
felt
still
bad.
rich, bro. He's still rich. He's doing all right.
I didn't ask whether or not he was well off. I'm asking whether or not he's okay. Like if CTE was a thing, and when CTE is a concern, we need to make sure we're always checking this guy out because he's hit the deck way more times than he should have.
Yeah. Let's pay some bills, man. Then we're gonna switch topics a little bit, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. Want to let you guys know that these days it can be hard to find and hire the right candidate for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs has made it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster and for free. A couple of jobs popped up for me last night on LinkedIn, and I even probably going to end up putting out a position for some editing help over on LinkedIn as well. So creating my own job positions over there, man. Create a free job post in minutes because LinkedIn makes it so easy to reach a network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified. Then use the simple tool on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. That's why small business rates LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. Here's the fast part. I messed it up last night. Let's see if I got it. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find a candidate that you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Wendy. That's linkedin.com/Wendy to post your job for free. Terms and conditions may apply. All right, man. Let's get into this shit. Because we saw a game last night that Trae Young went off for a historic night for him. Nah, maybe for the Hawks. The most points scored in a Hawks jersey? Nah, Lou Will probably still got that. Lou Will has some games in a Hawks jersey.
It's up
But
there.
in a loss, Portland came out without Dame Lillard, without CJ McCollum, and still got the job done. And so I ask you, was what last night one of those nights where you look at this team and you say, they just had a night. You had one guy, really one guy, that was able to put you over the top, a guy that normally doesn't have those kinds of games. Or do you look at last night and say, listen, this team has some talent on it that's behind the scenes. And maybe we move on from one of our big name pieces. Maybe we try to get some draft capital in here. Maybe because clearly something's not working in Portland. They're 14-22, and Dame's played a good chunk of the season. I believe he's out now. Him and CJ both out now due to injury. But do you come into this deadline looking to replace a big name player? Fam, what the heck does CJ have? Right lung pneumothorax?
I
What?
don't, I, Dog. I don't ask me. I'm gonna Google it and I'm gonna just be silent. I'm gonna be silent for the next 2 minutes trying to Google it. Nah, just keep it moving. My man's hurt. Hopefully he gets better. So I know he had a collapse. They said he had a collapsed lung, and so I guess that's the technical term for it. I
Yeah.
don't know. I hope he gets better. That's all I can say.
Do
Uh,
do the Trailblazers move on from at a minimum CJ, but maybe at most we do see Dame on the move.
I would trade Dame just because I think that it's the best thing for him. He's been loyal to the city. He's definitely in a position where, just based off of the brand he's built and just the type of person he is,
Yeah,
I think he's one of those loyal to a fault type people,
yeah,
which I appreciate. But it just, you got to think if it's his best year is going to be wasted because they probably will go for a full rebuild. and that's cool. Well, they probably should go for a full rebuild, and that's cool. Um, that doesn't mean that Chauncey Billups was doing a bad job or anything like that. He's kind of inheriting a problem that was already there. I've always believed that Terry Stotts was not the coach for them. I've said that for a while. I've said that for about 3 seasons. I
I
don't think
agree.
Terry
I
was the
agree with
coach
you,
for
but
him.
they was a playoff team with Terry Stotts for sure. And this roster ain't too much different, which is the bigger problem if anything, to me.
Well, the thing is, how many times have we seen? Hey, listen, Brad Stevens was a playoff coach. Been in the playoffs his entire time coaching. I don't. How many times did you hear me on tape say, "Hey, Brad Stevens was the problem in Boston"? Brad
Oh
Stevens
no,
ain't had a bad
I was
season.
thinking, I was thinking of the completely different. I'm sitting here like, but I don't know. All right, yeah, I got you in Boston. I was
Yeah.
thinking of Buddy that was out in whatchamacallit, out in OKC before Billy.
Um, I've been said that. I
Yeah,
called that before he moved. I'm
yeah.
like, nah, it's a Brad problem, and it hasn't gotten better.
Well, listen, I'm a problem now.
It's his first season with them,
Yeah,
and I don't kill coaches in their first season, especially when you're inheriting a problem. He's coming in inheriting a problem. Like he's inheriting players, probably trying to figure out where the heck we're going with this, and that does affect playing continuity on the team. And those are the human aspects that people don't look at. Like this ain't the '90s no more. Like well, let's
just
those
think.
days of the NBA are gone where I don't like you, you don't like me, but we gonna still try to make this work. Those days are gone. You now live in an era where the average player grew up in an era where not only do they want to be liked, but just the whole way that their condition is just completely different than our era.
Who's
And
got
that's
beef?
just hmm?
Who's got beef?
It's not about whether or not they got beef, but you also want to know where you fit and how you appreciate and where your organization is going. I think Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown are pretty good. I think they're pretty good. I hope they're
I
pretty
would hope
good.
so. They seem to like each other, and they both got paid. I mean,
But it's like it's one of those things where it's like, how long do you go with that? You got two young stars. Jalen just dropped 50 ball.
you
Like
know,
you may have to blow that up and use those picks to restart your organization there. I think Portland, you got two stars. Anthony Simons, who just dropped 43 to combat Trey Young's 56, seems to have a promising career. He's actually been pretty decent for them off the bench too.
he's just a little up and down off the bench, but that's kind of why I brought the question up. Like, is he like you see pieces like that have a moment? You know what I'm saying? Is he more of a Terrence Ross, or is he can be have this kind of output? Because even that, like even what we saw last night, he's a shooting guard in a point guard's body. You know what I'm saying? He's only 6'3". You're not gonna line him up next to Dame. Like there's a lot of things that go into that. You know, like it's tough for me.
I don't see why.
You would put Dame and him in the backcourt?
No, I just look at the narratives that we have, and when you talk about um, development, young players, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to sit here as a Bull Sports channel and say, "Hey, yeah, look, we just need to let Kobe develop," well, letting Simons develop can prove to be very fruitful if they allow it to happen because he's just
Right.
as young, relatively.
Same draft, right?
2018 draft. If Kobe was in the 2018 draft, then yeah, same draft. I think
Kobe
Kobe's
might
in
be
2019 draft.
2017.
Kobe's in
2019.
2017.
I'm trying to think. When Lowry,
I mean, I
Kobe,
could I could look it
when
up.
Lowry came with Zach,
Kobe White was in the 2019 draft,
2019 draft. Okay, so Kobe a little younger.
right? So young, given those young players, and then you got to think about it. He got drafted to a team where he wasn't going to play.
Yeah,
He's playing shooting guard behind Dame Lillard and C.J. McCollum.
yeah, which is wild.
Like, so letting him develop, I can see it happening.
Yeah,
I can see it happen. But the problem isn't their young core. The problem is their veterans,
I think
and it just hasn't worked.
their problem has always been their construction. That's why I say even keeping Simmons. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, keep Simmons short, but like everything else,
well, I'm just saying like you've got two shooting guards. Dame's a shooting guard. Like he plays point, but Dame wants to
Dame
score.
is a two guard. Yeah,
Dame
absolutely.
wants to score. CJ's a two guard. Simmons is a two guard. Like you've got these pieces that absolutely can score, absolutely can put up points. But do you have pieces that are like as much as we talk about Stephen Curry as a two guard, Stephen Curry is a part of a system that has excellent ball movement that sets everybody up to be successful. Like Steph is absolutely a beneficiary of it, but that ball be flying around the court.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like the play is, all right, we're getting the ball up, Steph, go to work. Sometimes it is. But more times than not, they set up a system. The ball is flying around. We sitting there watching Golden State, just like, oh my God, like what the heck is going on here? And then Steph might get a shot, or Klay returning might get a shot, or Draymond gets a shot, or Otto Porter now gets a shot, or Jordan Poole, who had himself a night last night, gets a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Jordan Poole, like look at like if we're gonna be consistent, that's all I say. Just be consistent in our narratives.
you know, I love development, dog.
Hey, listen, if you are in a situation like Portland, yeah, you develop. You trade away your talent for you know young pieces. Like trust me, if you put Dame on the market, you're gonna get something good back. It's
Here,
Dame.
here's the problem, though, right? If I'm in a situation like Portland, you probably lose Chauncey Billups as your coach, which maybe you can live with that now. Maybe he's
Why would
not
you
the
lose
coach
Chauncey? This is his first
because
coaching
because
gig.
of how I'm gonna do this. Because to me, you have to like if you trade Dame, CJ's not a piece you build around. Like if you start by moving on from Dame, move on. Because now we need to find our next guy. Now we need to get draft capital back. Now we need to find that. I'm not bringing in Ben Simmons. Well, actually, I might not be. Nah, I'm not bringing in Ben Simmons to pair with CJ McCollum. Like I'm trading Dame to get some
No,
immediate draft capital back so that I can start this thing over. I don't know if Chauncey wants to be a part of that.
you
Part of
you
a rebuild.
you play GM way different than I would with this particular team. When I say blow the team up, I'm trading him too.
No, that's what I'm saying though. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
no, no, no. I'm trading both of them
No, no, I get you. But that's what I'm saying. I
and
would
the
I would
bench.
I would trade Dame, CJ. I would blow it up. But that's what I'm saying. Once you get rid of Dame, you've chosen to restart everything.
Yeah, I don't
I
think you
don't know if
lose
Chauncey Billups want to be around for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if
Chauncey. This is Chauncey's first job as a head coach.
yeah,
But guess what? Be thankful you have the job as a head coach. Now you get the opportunity to really coach and develop a team in a way that you see fit.
yeah.
As a legendary point guard, if you want to call him that, I would say I would give him a nod as
I
a
get
definite.
legendary. It's Mr. Big Shot.
Yeah,
Must sleep on Chauncey in Denver. Everybody
must
always
sleep
think
on
about Chauncey up in Detroit. Chauncey in Denver was a problem.
was a problem. So now it puts him in the best situation where he gets to now develop young talent without egos, without having to cater to stars and stuff like that. And even if he does get some young star talent back,
Yeah.
again, those players on the move who have proven talent, who've proven themselves in certain moments, they're going to get big draws. They're going to get they're going to. I don't know exactly if I don't want to be so forward to say that you can get anything, but I can see you getting Ben Simmons and somebody back for him. Now, do you want Ben? That's a whole different thing.
I
But
would
it's the numbers work out. You could get Ben Simmons and you can get somebody else back for Dame Lillard. You really could. You could get John Wall potentially in Portland. I don't know how that would work, but you can. I'm saying like you could get John Wall and somebody else because that's the level of
you got to
talent
pay
that
somebody.
somebody has to
You
get
got
paid.
to somebody's got to make the money on the cap. You know what I'm
Um,
saying? John Wall's a good player because you can get John Wall in there and be like, listen, come in here for a year. We're trying to get you out of here. You know what I'm
I'm,
saying? We're trying to flip you real quick.
if I'm being honest, I would trade Dame to New York. It does him a favor by getting him into a big market. who would absolutely love like Dame in New York. New York not only would absolutely love him, it just takes his whole brand to a different level with the type of grit and grind player
Takes his
he
brand to
is.
a different level. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's doing him a big favor by making sure he absolutely is in a big name city with the opportunity to still be him, and you can really make that work. Now, would him and Tom work out? I don't know, but Tom has never had a Dame Lillard to work with.
Yeah. Nah.
He had prime D Rose, which I guess you could say is comparable, but I would pick Dame over prime D Rose.
I would pick Dame over him, but it's a they're not very comparable players. They play completely different.
Yeah. So
Um,
like it helps him. New York has enough young talent there to send back.
yeah.
I
You
think
know
they
what
do
though?
have a good pick situation.
That to me is the part that you look at. Like I'm looking at if I'm trading Dame, right? I'm not looking at Philly. Excuse me. I'm looking at OKC. I'm looking at, like you said, the Knicks. I'm looking at maybe, you know what? I'm looking at maybe the Pelicans. I'm looking at like
I wouldn't send them. No, if you're choosing to restart as an organization, you want to make sure that you do right by your star. I don't know if he has a no trade clause or not. I think it would be a disservice to send him to the Pelicans. That would be sending him to a place where not only is he going to be still in somewhat of obscurity, he has to deal with the Zion issues and stuff like that.
well,
I
you
would
also
want to
you
give him a
also
good
send
platform to take off somewhere else.
well, you probably they probably also gonna flip him too because the second Dame get in there, he gonna be like, I'm not playing it.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be a get him and flip him kind of situation. But to me, like that's a move where, like, I'm gonna trade him to a team that has younger talent that I can get back. Hey, I'd trade him to Indiana. Send me picks, send me Sabonis, send me you gonna send me Levert. Is Karis Levert now? Yeah, send me Levert. Send me something that is young and I can rebuild with, and I can go in the draft and get something. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna have to do something to make the money work. But I'm looking at teams like that where not only am I getting players back because he just make too much money, you're gonna have to get players back.
The funny thing is, yeah, we do play GM differently. There, it you when you trade away Dame and you want to do right by Dame, Indiana is a small market. Why would I trade him to Indiana?
Because
That's like
I'm
that's
trying to
that
do the best for my team.
that's a nah.
Like I love you, Dame. I appreciate everything you've done here, but if I'm sending you away, you competition now.
The worst thing you would do that would kill your reputation as an organization if you had a star who absolutely throughout all the stuff that said, hey, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm sticking. To send him to do something like that would kill your reputation. For a while, people didn't want to play in Chicago because of what? How they did Mike and stuff like that, right? That was the reputation. You
Yeah,
don't
but
you
they
don't
didn't
do
want
that.
to play in Chicago because of how they paid Mike. Dame been paid.
Dame has been paid, but
Dame's been paid well.
you do not do that. I would send him. I would probably trade him to Boston because Boston has a lot of picks they can still leverage, and you can get one of those names and some pieces back, and it still puts them in a big thing. You're not going to trade them in conference. When teams are amicably partnered with the player, rarely do they trade them within the conference, unless they're just completely giving up their chances of being
Competitive
competitive
within the
within the
next
next couple years,
round.
right? So you
Yeah. Hey,
trade them
listen,
to the
listen.
different
I'm gonna
conference.
tell you that you send Dame Lillard away, you giving up your chances of being competitive.
Oh, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
so that
But
so
I
that's
wouldn't trade him
that's
within
I don't
conference because then I got to see him too often.
listen.
I don't want to do that.
I but by the time my team's developed and ready to go, because I'm going young in this situation, Dame 38. No,
Maybe
How old is Dame now? 31? You
he's
right. I do
33.
say that a lot.
Yeah, say the whole lot. To be honest with you, it doesn't
Hey,
even
hey,
matter
hey,
how old he is.
I never get the age right.
It doesn't even matter how old he is because right now, he could the type of game he plays, he could play for another 5 years at the top of his game if he doesn't get injured, right?
31. So by the time I'm not absolutely, but 31. So by the time, let's say it take if a rebuild is successful, you're talking about 3 drafts at a minimum. By then, the first player you picked is becoming the player you want him to be. The next players are coming up in there.
All depends on where you trade them to and what you get back. The rebuild
Absolutely.
may not have to take that long. It
Absolutely.
doesn't.
Well,
It
yeah.
doesn't
If you
have
if
to
you
take that long.
listen, you go get a first round pick that's impactful, it won't. But that's what I'm saying. Like if I'm Portland,
What do we consider a successful? Let's set the parameters. What do you consider a successful rebuild?
a successful rebuild. What do you talk about? Like time frame?
Okay, let's start with time frame.
Um, if you get past 5 years, you fail because that means you've gone through at least two players that have been in the league 3 to 4 years and they haven't panned out. That means you've gone through two drafts where you got unsuccessful players. If you're in a rebuild, you don't have the luxury to go through true. That was the problem with the Bulls. The Bulls went through their first two drafts after, oh, we're gonna trade away Jimmy Butler and get Zach LaVine in here and get in Chris Dunn and get in. Which listen, Zach LaVine absolutely working out now, but you went through your first two drafts and got two players that didn't work out for your team. Now the reason that this worked is because you had Zach LaVine already, who was already becoming a great player, and AK was like, "F it, get rid of the picks, bring me players, bring me vets. I want to win now." You know what I'm saying? AK played GM a lot like you.
What depends on what my when you got someone like Zach, who ultimately you want to build around, you got to make an impact quick. So you have no choice.
No, I feel
If
you.
so like in this situation, when you have someone like Dame who you want to do right by because he absolutely deserves it,
Yeah,
and you want to maintain your reputation as an organization, you send them somewhere competitive where they have the assets that they can leverage and send you. It works out where you can actually situate yourself within the 5 year time frame.
yeah. Thing with
That's
Dame is you got pick of the litter. You
yeah.
you can send him to Boston. You can send him to, where if you say, ladies and gentlemen, Dame Lillard is on the market, you have all the leverage. They have no leverage.
Um,
No matter what they like. If Boston comes to you like, well, that's too much to give up. Okay, well, they'll give it to me.
I know Boston. If you see Dame, like Boston could sit there and trade away uh, Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown and Dennis Schroeder and still be a competitive team and then make the money work and still give up some picks. Like I, I ain't gonna say this was well thought out, but like when I looked at trade destinations that would make sense for them,
Yeah,
that would still keep them in a somewhat competitive role within a relatively short amount of time.
yeah,
I looked at what teams have two stars that can be leveraged. What teams have two stars with some picks that can be leveraged? What teams have, a star and maybe somebody up and coming that can be leveraged?
yeah.
Like it has to be of equal exchange. Like we talk about James Harden forcing himself out of Houston, but Houston absolutely has talent on their team. Like they've made it hasn't worked out great, but there's a lot of talent there. It's a ton of talent there.
Good comment here by Cornelius. Would you send him to Denver?
No,
You can get ready made pieces there. You send him to Denver. You getting back a Jamal Murray at a minimum, who's an injury prone player, but
I would be getting for the numbers to work. For the numbers to work, you have to put in
You getting
MPJ.
MPJ. You getting MPJ.
That's why I would say no. I would say no.
You
Either
know,
any player that I trade him for is injury prone.
I love MPJ, so I'm just like, nah, I don't know. I think he gonna come back with a bit, but that back, man, the back is it's such a crazy injury, dog. Like you don't know what it's gonna be.
Now the crazy thing is, depends on what else they're trying to give up.
You got to get a pick with it. You got to
If
get
they
a
give up Jamal and some picks,
you got to get a pick with it.
I would do it simply because Jamal is not a scrub by any means.
Yeah.
Um, but tell me what the difference between Jamal and CJ is.
Well, at that point, nothing.
There's nothing different. That's the same player,
Even
right?
if you get them in there, you get if you still want to do a full rebuild, you trade Dame, you trade CJ, you get the pick you want, then you trade Jamal.
Um,
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going full on rebuild, like the problem that like this the thing the the times when teams have problems is when they don't make a decision. When they half do it, when they say we want to rebuild but we still want to be competitive. Those two things ain't synonymous. You
but
can't rebuild and be competitive. You want to win this, you want to be there, you need to be playing for the lottery this year and get picks for all your big name players.
but with the type of money that we're dealing with at times, you're not. This is no longer the situation where these picks make sense. Like the last time that a big name player got traded with now another big name player being involved, they traded like four picks to go with it. Four,
Talking
like
about
two
AD.
first. I forgot whichever trade it was. I just remember it was like a stupid amount of picks that was involved in that deal, and it
Oh,
was just like,
from what you would call it when they sent KG and Paul Pierce to Brooklyn.
well, I didn't think about that one. It's more recent than that one, but
That was
that's a
too
good one.
dumb. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
It was one of the dumbest things ever.
One of the dumbest. I just looked at that and I was like, they old, right?
Hey,
You got 1 year to get this done.
they bet the farm and they swung for the fences, and so
Missed.
you know, it's one of those things where you want to, again. I keep being repetitive. Whatever situation works out for, it has to work out for both parties. And if you're
Yeah,
going full rebuild, does Denver have the picks that could even compensate that?
probably not.
You
Well,
know,
they might have them, but they're probably not high enough for me. And Denver's gonna be good. Like I'm sending you to a team that
the only team that comes up to me is Boston and OKC. I wouldn't
Boston
trade
and
them to
OKC.
OKC.
I'm sending you to a team that I can get picks and young talent.
I'm sending you to Boston.
I would send
Now,
them to OKC.
Boston has to make a decision because you can't. It's very rarely that you're going to be able to keep both Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, your picks, and get Dame. So which one of these
No,
dudes you going?
you would have to come up off of somebody.
You coming off of one of these
You coming up
players?
off of one of them,
You
yeah.
need to decide. Hey, any, mini, miny, mo, the rock paper scissors. I don't care what you do, but you need to decide which one of these players you're gonna come up with. Oh, come up off of,
Yeah.
and then you need to go ahead and plan out getting your next big man because that's what's missing in Boston. You get Dame and another big man there. That's a different team. You don't need both Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown when you have Dame and a serviceable big. You
They
just don't.
they gotta
The Williams kid ain't worked out. I think he got hurt or something like that. I don't even know if he's still there. I
who?
haven't checked their rosters out. Like they had a decent big. He
Who?
showed some signs. Boston. Let
No,
me
they
see.
got the young dude this year.
Who's the undo?
I cannot think of buddy's name. He was blocking everybody's shot. And he was jamming on with Robert Williams?
I was gonna say Williams.
Yeah.
Enos Cantor is there. Or Freedom.
Enos Freedom, brother. Keep hope alive.
Jabari Parker. Marcus Smart. Oh, I keep forgetting about Marcus Smart. You can get Marcus Smart back, Dennis Schroeder, and some
I can see that. I can see Portland doing that.
it things that make sense. It
But
has to
this the
just
thing.
make sense.
This the thing, right? I would trade him to OKC because you're gonna send me some young talent back too. And I know you got it there.
Still in conference,
Send me
still
get
young team. It doesn't
send
help
me
Dame. It
send
doesn't
me
help
get
Dame at all.
dog. Like all right. I'm not sending you to a team that's devoid of talent.
You're sending me to a team. No. You're sending me to a developing team. You might as well just keep me where I am and trade everybody else.
Hey, listen, I'm trying to
Like
make
that
the
makes
team
no
work.
sense.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make the Portland Trailblazers good. I'm not trying to make Dame Lillard good.
Our reputations would be completely different in this league, and that's cool. That's cool. That's just generally not how it
You
works
know
when
what?
you have
You know what?
somebody who's stuck by you, though.
I mean, in this NBA, you know what reputations mean at this point? Did you win or not? Did the
Nah,
rebuild work or not? That's all it is.
nah.
That's all it is. These mugs ain't sticking by their GMs and stuff like that. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you when you have a player that does, you
Man,
don't
most
do
of
them.
these bugs ain't been with a GM long enough for it to matter.
when you have you not seen the press conferences when you have somebody who absolutely, like, if Dame said I want out right now, nobody in the world is going to sit there and say, yeah, he did them bogus. No, Dame
No,
is giving you everything,
no.
and he stood by this organization through the thick and thin. Guess what? Yeah, you sit there and you say that in general terms, but in this specific term, that doesn't apply. That's not your situation. You don't do a player of that caliber that way,
Okay.
especially if he's rolled it out with you and you the one that ain't made it work.
I'm not. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sending you to a. Now listen, clearly they don't know what they're doing out in Portland, or maybe they do, and it just ain't working out. But to me, they haven't. The teams they built for Dame Lillard are just everybody go out there and shoot, and we gonna get a regular dude. Like y'all need to go find y'all a real big man, not a Nurkic who can't play any defense, not a Cantor who can't play any defense, not a you know what I'm saying?
I love how they say it's just a business. All right, cool. Keep them same. Hey, you know the good thing about us in Chicago is we actually have a businessman.
Oh, we
So
do. Hey,
so
listen,
keep
AK
that
absolutely.
same energy when you see some of your favorite pieces get moved that you done got attached to when they bench people.
Hey, fam, that's what's gonna happen.
Because guess what? It's a business.
It is.
You can't
That's
have
how.
it both
That's
ways.
absolutely how AK ran this team. AK came through and shipped everybody out, cutting heads immediately. Y'all got one season. Show me what you got. Now
Absolutely.
he gave Kobe an extra season because Kobe had only been in the NBA 1 year. But he absolutely came in there and looked at Larry Markin and looked at Wendell Carter and said, "You got one season. Show me why you should stay." And they were gone by Wendell. What didn't even make it one season. AK showed up to that game and Wendell dunked and it hit straight off the rim, and he was like, "This dude's out of here. He just missed the wide open dunk."
The reality of the situation is you see the dumpster fire that was the Chicago Bulls, that was the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
You see how they got there. Someone comes in and they make immediate changes because they have a star threatening the potential. We were talking about trading Zach LaVine because Chicago may not actually be able to do something with him.
About trading Zach LaVine.
You
I talked
definitely
about
what
I talked about
you
trading Zach.
definitely did mention it.
I talked about trading Zach LaVine before the Bulls, before AK got here for Ja Morant.
Which
That
is
was
what I'm saying. You before AK got here, we potentially flirted with the idea of rebuilding because we couldn't help Zach.
yeah,
That
but that
we
that
said it
that
on this platform. The news, the media has said it. Guess what? We should trade Zach LaVine because we can't help him. That's
yeah,
exact.
that,
We've
that was
said it.
no, I was saying you trade him because you're going to waste him here. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
they had nothing. I was like, you're gonna waste them. Go get Ja Morant. He gonna be really good. Trade whatever you have to trade to go get Ja Morant. He's gonna be really good. But at no point did I ever think Zach can't play.
No, it's the
Like the
in this
conversation.
conversation, we're not talking about people who
No,
can't
but
play.
the conversation was that Zach's not a number one. That's why you trade. That was always the conversation around why you trade Zach. It was Zach's not a number one player. He's a number two. He's a Robin on a lot of teams. That's why you trade him. The same conversation that was around Jimmy Butler. You know, the Bulls were, oh, Jimmy Butler's not a number one player. He'll never be Derrick Rose, blah, blah, blah. So we got to move on from him. All right. Man went to the playoffs every year since he left here. Man went to the playoffs every year since he left here.
Zach not being a number one. Don't know if I agree with that one.
I don't agree with it. I never agreed with it because I saw what he could do. I just believe in Ja Morant that much. And it seems like it's working out. I just really saw Ja Morant and I was like, no, that's a different player right there. Because he was at a small school, wasn't he? What college he went to? Ja was at a real small school. And he was working mugs.
Hmm.
But it's like I like how AK's done it. You know why? Because the Bulls have always been the team that's loyal to their players. They've always kept their role players too long. Murray State, absolutely. They've always overloved the Joakim Noahs. I love Joakim Noah, one of my favorite players all time. I understand that we shouldn't have re-upped that contract because the knees were bad. I love Luol Deng. You should have moved on from him to get Kobe. That shouldn't have even been a question. It should have never been, well, we would have had to get rid of so much that we wouldn't have been able to win. It's Kobe. You figure it out after Kobe's here. You know what I'm saying? Like it should have never been. We can't get rid of Donyell Marshall. He's averaged 15 points a game last year. I don't care if we do like Dwayne Wade. Loyalty here to role players is what screwed us over. Now Dame is absolutely not a role player, but if it's about rebuilding my team from the ground up, I'm gonna get the most that I can out of it. If that means sending them to OKC, hey Dame, we appreciate you for playing the work version of our game, my boy.
Yeah, I just would do it differently. And it's not, and in my opinion,
That's okay.
that's not good business. When you
I
can
don't think
send
it's
them to
bad business.
when you can send them to, and that's where we differ. When you can send them to a team that can absolutely get you pieces and put them in a situation where you're still doing right by the guy that did right by you. No matter what this whole state of business is, most people in life in this space can't handle what real business looks like. Let's not act like we're the most astute businessmen and we can understand how. You're not. You're not. Most people aren't built that way.
I mean, if we're talking about business,
Most people definitely are not built that. Trust me, I know.
if we
You're not built that way.
if we're talking about business,
And there's nobody in that organization in Portland that's willing to go through that type of backlash. And if you don't think it's backlash, do it. Do it and see what happens. Watch them drag your organization through the mud for the next couple of weeks.
hey,
They sent him where to do what?
And you know what? If you can deal with a couple of weeks, guess what? Now you got some nice first round picks. Now you got some nice young talent on your team. Now you
And
moving
you
your
will
team in the
never
right
be able to
direction.
attract another star for another decade.
It's Portland. You ain't never been able to attract a star.
Oh
That
no!
ain't gonna change.
Listen.
What
With
stars
the right,
Portland ever been able to attract? You got to
with the
you
right,
drafted all of your stars.
they
Every
did.
every star that's ever been in Portland. Brandon Roy, who absolutely was a dog. If y'all don't know about Brandon Roy, go look that boy up. That was a different player, dog.
Brandon Roy,
Marcus
LaMarcus
Aldridge,
Aldridge, Greg Oden
Clyde
had the
Drexler,
opportunity.
Greg Oden, fam.
Greg.
That hey, that record is ridiculous. Brandon Roy, Greg Oden, and LaMarcus Aldridge when they all healthy.
Oh yeah, I think they had us 80%. They won 80% of their games.
Was it only 80%? I thought it was higher
Yeah,
than that. I thought they only lost like 6 games. It was crazy. But Portland's never been able to draft or to attract a star.
well,
That's not going to change. I don't
Portland
want
wasn't in the position to do so because they had good players. Think of the last time you mentioned a Portland team that was just completely scrubs.
but
Like
this is the thing.
Brandon Roy, the way they positioned Brandon Roy in that team,
Yeah,
that was during Kobe's heyday.
for
The
sure.
injuries in LaMarcus Aldridge, they traded them away. Then all of a sudden, the Dame Lillard, Dame got drafted in like 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
They haven't had big gaps where they sucked.
But kid, here's the
You
problem.
got Scotty, Sabonis. They've had squads.
But
It's just been Portland.
uh,
They've been in the West
but kid,
doing legendary runs.
but here's the problem. If I've got Dame Lillard, why can't I get a real big man to come play here? After I get rid of Aldridge, if I've got Brandon Roy, why can't I? Well, that Brandon Roy team was actually pretty nasty. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was a decent pointless
There
squad.
hasn't been many Portland teams that have been scrubbed since the early 2000s.
I'm not saying they're scrubs, but let's not act like Dame Lillard. We don't see that Dame Lillard needs help and they can't get it for him. Nobody's signing in Portland. You'll never see Kevin Durant be like, yeah, the Portland Trailblazers is on my list. There's no big name star that's going to wake up and be like, yeah, I want. And this is the thing. When you have good players, usually other good players want to come play with them. Here in Chicago with the new regime, you see Zach LaVine was there by himself. They brought in Vooch. Now all of a sudden, DeMar chooses Chicago over home because he want to be there. Because the offer was absolutely on the table. He said that. He said the offer was on the table. He said, I'm picking Chicago. Lonzo want to come here. AC comes here after. Now that's a whole wild situation. Although I'm not gonna lie, they got something in Reeves. They just keep trying to redraft Alex Caruso, and it seems to be working. But to me, like I look at like Dame Lillard's been there how long? The best player they've got to come play with him is what? Enes Kanter?
The best big man they've got to play with him?
Well, that's what he needs. We all agree that he needs a real big man.
I would say that in Enes Kanter, Nurkic, they had
Nurkic they drafted though, right? They got the Bulls pick on that.
Portland didn't have an issue at big man until they had injuries, and then it just they were always injured. They get to a certain point and then get hurt. Get to a certain point, then get hurt. They had talent, but that's been the story of Portland, right? So to say that he hasn't had anyone to come there, no, they built a team around him that was very competitive. They just had they had hold on. They just had unfortunate runs where at the time that they built their team, we had one of the best teams we ever seen just hit the scene. It's an unfortunate being on the unfortunate side of history. But guess what? It still happened. That doesn't mean that they did anything wrong. It doesn't mean that that team was Golden State was just better, and then Golden State got even better when they got Kevin Durant. Like we're missing 5-6 years of basketball right there because they just came through and just wiped that out. You can't negate that.
Kid,
You can't do anything about that.
but that matters if the team that's taking you out is taking you out in the Western Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying?
No, it matters if they're taking you out.
How many times did they play Golden State in the playoffs? What, once?
They played them once. They played
And they
Houston.
got beat.
They played Houston.
You lost to Houston. Guess what? People wanted to go to Houston.
No. Not everybody wanted to go to Houston.
You got Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook over there. You got
Okay.
Dwight Howard down there. You had players that were going to Houston.
Bus rider. Russell Westbrook has history with James Harden. Didn't work out. Chris
Didn't work
Paul
out.
didn't work out. Like you're naming other failed experiments. But
no, I get you, but they went there.
I don't see not one big man that lined up to go play with James Harden.
Dwight Howard.
Bus rider. Name a big man that actually meant something and went to go play with James Harden.
Were they looking for a big man? You had Clint Capella down there. They weren't even looking.
Developed the Clint Capella? Because that's what Portland was doing. Portland developed the team that they had. They put together a really good team.
Yeah, but the player you got down there can't play defense. You got a big man that barely scores, that puts up 15 a game and can't play defense.
You had big men that couldn't stay healthy.
Fam,
but together they had a good record.
We talking about Dame though. We talking about Dame right now.
We talking about the team built around Dame.
We talking about the team built around Dame.
And the team built around Dame wasn't bad.
We just talking about LA. LA was there already. We talk about a big man that can't stay healthy. LA was there.
And he got traded away, and for good reason.
He got traded away because he didn't want to be there no more.
He got traded away for good reason. It didn't work out.
No,
you went back 10 years.
That's his last good big man.
You went back nearly 10 years. No, that's his last star big man. Yeah, true. I give you that. But the team built around him was different.
Does he need a star big man? You just said he needs a big man. Does he need a star big man?
I say that him going to Boston with a big man would have worked. With him having a better big man now, with what they have now, yeah, they don't have anything now because it hasn't worked out. Nurkic just hasn't worked out. But remember, it was Nurkic and Kanter as a tandem and healthy. I've watched them healthy. They actually balled.
Healthy,
but they couldn't stay healthy.
They also couldn't stop nobody on the other end.
I don't know about that.
Kanter not a defender. We all know that.
Listen, that tandem together, they had good rebounding. and they had good interior defense. They did. I don't have to. I'm not making it up. Go look at it. Go. It's on
Oh,
tape.
I saw it. I saw it get dominated.
No, you didn't see it get dominated. You saw teams. You saw historic teams get put together, and they ran them out the gym. That's
I can't even.
different.
I, uh,
That's different. Hey, who faults a team for getting beat by Golden State? I don't think they got put out by Golden State though.
I don't
I
even
don't.
think. I think they've only played Golden State in the playoffs one
I
time.
don't think. Why, who did they get put out by? And I
Houston
know.
almost
I
every
know.
time.
I know. One of the reasons was because of is always because of injury. Somebody got hurt every single time.
CJ McCollum was always hurt.
CJ got hurt,
CJ
and then
McCollum.
one of their bigs got hurt. It happened back to back. I forgot. I forgot who got hurt first, but it happened back to back. They get there and then somebody get hurt, or they get there and then Dame got hurt one time. So one time it was CJ. One time it was definitely I want to say it was Nurkic, and another time it was CJ.
Let's see.
They never had health on
Well,
their side.
they got put out by the Nuggets last year.
Well, we saw that.
They got put out by the Lakers the year before. They beat the Thunder and then they beat the Thunder year before that, beat the Nuggets, and then in the conference finals they got beat by the Warriors. They got swept though.
Get
So
swept by the
so
Warriors.
I give you that one. Historic team, absolutely. That's 2018-19. Is that 73-9?
No, that's the Kevin Durant era.
Kevin Durant there, okay.
I think it was Nurkic. Nurkic was like, yeah,
Year
Nurkic was
before
always
that, they were the best team in the Western Conference, and AD and them dominated them. Was that 2017? DeMarcus Cousins and AD
somebody got hurt.
dominated.
Somebody got hurt. Who got hurt?
I don't know. I don't have that here. And then 2016, they lost to the Warriors before that.
So you run into the Warriors twice on historic runs, but on both ends of those historic runs. You get hurt one season. You got put out by.
I don't think nobody got hurt that 2018 year. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think because that was a major upset because they were like the best team in the West or one of the best teams in the West, and they got beat by the Pelicans that were absolutely at the bottom.
No, one of their big men got hurt and they got ran through. I remember that for a fact. Somebody got hurt and they got ran through because the moment somebody got hurt and then
AD was working them out.
Somebody got hurt and then Dame was getting locked down because he was playing hurt. If you watch that game, Dame got locked down. They ran a double at him, but he was playing hurt.
I don't know about that one, dog.
I remember it.
Let's
I
see.
remember.
2018 Portland Trailblazers roster: Nurkic, CJ. Nah, it's the same dudes.
It's the same dudes.
Same dudes, though.
I actually got to jump on this call. I'm not making excuses. Shut up. That's a good way to piss me off in the morning. It's not making excuses.
Listen, I'm
it's
just
the facts.
saying. You acting like Muggs really pulling up. Hey man, let's pull up to Portland. I'd
No.
love to be in Oregon during the NBA season. I hear that the scene is great.
It's one of those things where it's not a matter of it's not a matter of someone pulling up. I just look at I look at the reasons why differently. And when I look at you running into Golden State twice, I look at health being an issue one of those series. And I do remember
Watch that. I think they was healthy. I think they just got ran through.
They got ran through and somebody got hurt because they couldn't stop the interior. They couldn't stop the interior.
You couldn't stop AD anyway. It didn't matter.
Well, AD by himself was one thing, but AD and
big men on that team were
it was AD and who?
And Yusuf Nurkic. It was the same dudes.
It was AD and who?
2018, 2017, I might be looking at the wrong roster. That was
That's wrong. That's wrong year right there because it definitely wasn't 2018.
No, it was 2017, 2018 season. Same dudes.
2017, 2018 season for who they play. Who was on the roster that they played?
Let's see here. On the roster that they played, you got 2017 Pelicans. 2017 Pelicans roster was Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis, Darius Miller. Each one This roster is trash. Boogie was hurt by that point, but he was on that team. But Boogie missed the end of that season. Dante Cunningham, Ian Clark, Jordan Crawford, Nikola Mirotic, Emeka Okafor, Frank Jackson, Rajon Rondo, who
Rondo. Okay.
I think was also hurt for the playoffs.
Nah, Rondo played that series.
Jalen Jones and Charles Cook. Yeah, no, that team was Rondo, AD, and the rest of them boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I remember that one. That was one of them where everybody looked at it like, man, like, did Portland really just lose that? That was the first time us was like, y'all need to rebuild this. Which at that time was dumb to me, but yeah, no, now it's just different. You know what I'm saying? It's no disrespect to Dame and what he's done out in Portland. It's just one of those where they're gonna get beat with the team currently the way it's constructed, and you're not gonna if you can't attract a star to come play with Dame Lillard. I don't know how else you're gonna attract a star. You got to draft. If you can't attract somebody to come play with Damian Lillard, who we've all said is the most underrated player in the league right now, the way he gets disrespected, like you never gonna get nobody there. So you got to draft it. So I got to get the draft capital in. So I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like
hard exit because I'm 10 minutes over.
It's all good, man. Hey, I'll let you later, my boy.
Yes, sir.
Stay safe out there, man. Peace. As we keeping it going here, man. Kid out here still trying to run a business. Trying to tell me about running a business. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Appreciate that love, man. I'm still rocking with y'all, man. We're keeping it going. Keeping it moving in the right direction. I don't think nobody was hurt that year, though. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't think nobody was hurt that year. I'm going back to watch that series because I don't think nobody was hurt that year. I think Portland just got worked out. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with your boy, man. To be honest, Portland should get P.kidd. Now, you know what? Kidd rock with Portland. Kidd rock with Portland heavy. Like that's the team on the West Coast that he really enjoys watching because he really liked Dame Lillard. So I get his defense of it, but nah. You're not finna hit me with that one. Interesting topic. And it kind of inculcates our Bulls as well. We're going to see Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson return. Question on the table. How does the landscape of the NBA change with those two in the building? How does the landscape of the NBA change if you get a Kyrie Irving and if you add a Kyrie Irving into what Brooklyn Nets are already doing? If you add in a Klay Thompson, and as a Bulls fan, as somebody that's you know, that's always looking to see how the landscape's going to change it. Right now, Bulls leading the Eastern Conference by 2 games against the Brooklyn Nets. Bulls right now 25-10, Brooklyn 23-12, Milwaukee 25-14. Then you got Miami coming up in 4th with 23-15. How does that adding Kyrie back in? Like to me, like right now, the Bulls, like I asked last night, are the Bulls really the best team in the East, or have they just come into you haven't had to play against these best teams? You haven't had to play against the Kyrie Irvings of the NBA. You haven't had to play against Kyrie with KD, because I think we probably said it just about every other morning here. The NBA champions were down 40 in multiple games. In multiple games, they were down 40. When Kyrie and KD were both on the court together. The second Kyrie got hurt, now you kind of see them be able to work their way back into it. And it's listen, I absolutely think that the Bulls are one of the best teams in the NBA right now. I absolutely think that they have a championship level roster, but Kyrie scares me, y'all. Kyrie with KD is scary to think about. Kyrie with KD is scary to think. Like, as a basketball fan, like, I always got the see red glasses on, but I can see Kyrie on the other side of them. And the thing that I think about is Kyrie or Brooklyn right now is 2 games behind you without him. Brooklyn right now is 2 games behind you in the standings. They're in second place in the Eastern Conference without him. Anthony says he cannot play in the UC or at his own stadium. He'll be allowed to play in the UC. Bradley Beal is going to play next week in the UC. Or no, this week, Friday. Bradley Beal's going to play Friday in the UC. He'll play. You're not going to keep Kyrie Irving off the court at this point. And I guarantee you they'll open things up back home for him to play at some point this season. So how does that affect the Eastern Conference? Does it put Brooklyn over the top? Does it put them in a position where now they are the best team in the Eastern Conference? Does it put him in a position where, or does it put the Nets in a position where not only are they the best team in the Eastern Conference, but now we're talking about them, run it back versus Milwaukee, run it back versus the Warriors. Tom says Kyrie could hurt them, though, and slow down Harden's hot streak. His hot streak slowed down last night. Harden's an interesting player because he kind of needs to be on that where like the focus is on him. He needs the ball in his hands where he's focusing on scoring. So we kind of seen that come to an end when KD got back healthy and was able to come back and start playing again. How does he handle, like it's interesting to see how is the East going to handle that? Not just the Bulls, not just the Bulls. How's the East going to handle it? That's not exactly a cakewalk guarding Kyrie. You know what he can do offensively. You know he can get other people involved. You know that he's got the skill set where him and KD are able to play off of each other. That makes Brooklyn the most dangerous team in the Eastern Conference to me. And I told y'all at the beginning of the season, listen, we having fun with the Bulls. We absolutely are. I think we're going to continue to have fun for the rest of the season with the Bulls. I think the Bulls will have a shot at the ECF. I think they got a shot at the NBA Finals, honestly. But with Kyrie on that team, the league is absolutely his. With Kyrie on that team playing the point guard position for them, the league is absolutely theirs. Raging Oracle said teams just need home court against the Nets to get past them. Nah, they need the Nets to have home court. He can't play at home. It's a scary thought, dog. It's a scary thought when you see uh uh um a team playing as well as they are, and then you see them adding another game-changing player. Now, the interesting thing with Kyrie is how's he going to respond to the part I want to see? How's he going to respond to being in basketball shape? There's nothing that can replicate the play on the court. There's nothing that can replicate your play versus top tier competition. I know he said he was working out the entire time. I know that he said he was, he's been keeping himself in shape. He's been doing what he had to do. How is his body going to react to not playing a half season of basketball, and now all of a sudden you're going full on? Now all of a sudden you're hitting it all the way. We've seen Kyrie's body not react well when he literally played an entire season. We've seen Kyrie. Kyrie's problem has never been his talent, his skill set. Kyrie's problem is that there's not a guarantee that he's going to be healthy when the regular season rolls around. Kyrie's problem is that there's not going to be a guarantee that when you get to those, I mean, listen, we saw it again last season. We absolutely saw it again last season. You saw the Nets come out and struggle because it was just KD and the rest of them. And they haven't figured out, and James Harden hasn't figured out where his role is on this team yet. 29 games in? No, we passed 29 games in. What are we now? How many games have the Nets played here? See the standings here. So they played 35 games, 23-12. And they still don't know who they are. They still don't know or I'm sorry, James Harden still doesn't know who he is. James Harden still doesn't know what his role is with this team, where he fits in. Yeah, I'm saying he doesn't have a ball in his hands. So if anything, James might benefit from it. It's gonna be interesting to see like what he's able to do in the Eastern Conference. It's gonna be interesting to see what the Nets are gonna be able to do and how much Kyrie is actually gonna be able to play. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be and for me as a Bulls fan, like I'm looking at it and I'm just saying, listen, can we keep them at bay? Do we have enough talent to win? Do we match up with them well enough to win? Because LaMarcus Aldridge absolutely still got game. I don't think Vooch played in the last game though. I gotta look at that. But LaMarcus Aldridge absolutely still got game. Gave us 20 in that last game. Let me see. Brooklyn Nets. Did Vooch play in that last game? I think we were without Vooch. No, Vooch played. 11, 5 and 2. Tough shooting night. Absolutely got worked out by LA. I'm telling y'all, man. That's a different dude. That's a different dude. And now on the other side of the bracket, you're adding in Klay Thompson back into the best team in the NBA. On the other side of the bracket, you're adding in Klay Thompson to one of the best teams to ever do it in the Golden State Warriors. A team that's dominated without him. By the way, I think we'll be getting Klay when they come here. I think we'll be getting Klay when they come here. That's a team to me. Now here's the thing. At the end of the day, right? Like NBA wise, I'm scared of what the Warriors can do. But it's like I said with last night on the post game show. I'm not scared of what the Warriors can do in the West because like if we see them, we're in the NBA Finals. I had a good day. Even if we get swept in the NBA Finals, we made it to the NBA Finals. But you're adding in a dude that comes in, absolutely is going to be he with a chip on his shoulder, and is going to be absolutely looking to make an impact. And the way that this team's playing already without him, guess what? Here's the scary part, right? We always talked about Steph and Klay, but now you're adding in Jordan Poole to that. Now you're adding in Andrew Wiggins to that. At some point, you hope to be adding back in James Wiseman to that. That's a different team. That's a different team, dog. That's a different team. Like that. That is like as excited as I was for. I don't know if excited is the right word. As confident as I am that Kyrie and KD is a disgusting tandem. Seeing what Golden State has added while developing talent. By the way, again, developing talent. Y'all hear that word right there? Seeing what Golden State has built while developing talent is crazy to me. I mean, last night, Jordan Poole, 32 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 12 for 17 from the field, 5 for 9 from the three-point line. You're adding that in with Steph Curry, who had a terrible night. Didn't even score 10 points. He didn't score 10 points, which is not the norm. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 10 assists on 3 for 17 shooting for Stephen Curry. But you know what you added into the mix? Jordan Poole. And now you're adding Klay Thompson back into that. And on that team, the question is going to be who goes to the bench? Do you keep Poole on the bench, or is Poole done enough to get into the starting lineup? Hey, listen, do you send Wiggins to the bench, who, by the way, gave you 22 last night? He's another nice player. As much as I said with Kyrie and them, if they get in there, the league is theirs, dog. Dog. This Golden State team about to be different. This Golden State team is about to be next level. This Golden State team is absolutely about to be next level. But again, am I worried about it? We might lose to them in the regular season. But if we lose to them in the playoffs, it means we're in the NBA Finals. Hey, listen, that's a tough matchup. But you've been in the NBA Finals. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at I don't see a way that anybody in the like do you think that Phoenix still has enough to contend with that? Does Utah have enough to contend with that? Like I honestly, like, look at how the Western Conference is breaking down right now. Here's your standings. Golden State, Phoenix, Utah, Memphis, Denver, Dallas, Clippers, Lakers are in eighth. Do any of those teams, do you say they can beat Golden State if they add Klay back into it? Do any of those teams, do you say that they can come out and dominate, win 7 games if they get back into it? Anthony says it's not a regular injury. Kobe Bryant was not the same after that injury. Klay's not being asked to do the same thing. That's very different. Those are 2 very different people. Klay's not being asked to do the same thing. I watched Klay drop 60 on the Bulls while taking 4 dribbles the whole game. I don't need Klay off the dribble. Klay doesn't have to be the defender that he once was. You know why? Because they got Gary Payton over there who's guarding everybody. He had 4 steals last night. You still got Draymond Green who's guarding it. I don't need Klay to be the player that he was when he left. You know what I need Klay to do? Shoot. Let that thing fly. That's all I need Klay to do. Take your time, work your way back in there. Let's see what he's got. Let that thing fly. I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at this team, I don't know if there's many teams in the West that can beat them without Klay Thompson. I wouldn't pick the Lakers over him. Wouldn't pick the Clippers over him. Wouldn't pick Dallas. Wouldn't pick Denver. Denver dealing with a lot of injuries themselves. Memphis is an interesting one, but I just like Ja Morant. I wouldn't pick them. Utah's best weapon is negated, and you're hoping to have James Wiseman back by the playoffs, so maybe they're able to go back. And Phoenix. Anybody worried about any of those teams versus Golden State right now without Klay? I'm not. I'm not. Phoenix maybe can give them some go. Phoenix has the best opportunity with it if you got Ayton and you know, Phoenix got a really nice team over there. No disrespect to Phoenix at all. And we in the 8 o'clock hour, man. Want to let you guys know that the phone lines are open as well if you want to call into the show. The Contender phone lines where you can not only hear the morning breeze now, but you can hear a ton of sports talk as well. Call into the show, man, 855-908-5668, 855-908-5668. Talk about anything we talked about this morning, man. We've had 4 hours so far. We've talked where you rank Big Ben all time. Talked about Portland possibly moving on from a major piece. Now we're talking about how does the return of Klay and Kyrie affect the league? Would love to hear from you guys this morning as well, man. Like, I get Klay may not come back and be the same player that he was. He might not. I don't need him to be. I don't need him to be Golden State first championship Klay Thompson. I don't need him to be guarding everybody that comes through the room Klay Thompson. I don't. I need him to be a better player than most. I need him to be 80% of the player that he once was. I need him to stand out there and shoot. If there's one thing that I know, Klay Thompson will be able to stand out there and shoot. And that doesn't, you know, to me, that doesn't change. That doesn't change with where this team is. That doesn't change with what this team is going to be doing. The Warriors are the best team in the league for a reason. The Warriors are one of those where it's like I look at them as the Warriors, Phoenix is up there. It's the rest of the league, even versus the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Even versus the Bulls. Bulls are a great team. I think the Bulls have a good weakness or a good strength versus one of their weaknesses. Till Wiseman comes back. Then there's another big question mark there. You know what I'm saying? Cornelia says Dame needs a star big man. That's why Philly is perfect and scary as Dame and Joel. My God. It's going to be interesting, man. Let's go out to the phones, man. Got an early call in here. Let's go out to Steve-O. Steve-O, what's good? Hold on. Let me switch this here. I guess I got this on the wrong. You dig? There we go. Now the stream can hear you. What's happening, man?
What's good, bro? How you?
I'm all right, my boy. I'm all right. Getting the morning started off right, man. Talking a little basketball right now. What's going on with you, man?
Yeah, I guess I want to start off with who I'm really worried with. I guess I'm more worried about. I'm not. I mean, I'm worried about Brooklyn, but I'm not too worried. I mean, I gotta see Kyrie. Like I said, I can't answer that question yet because I gotta see Kyrie like 10 games. I gotta see him like 15 games if I even get to see that. But I gotta see him. I'm more worried about the Phillies and Milwaukee's of the world because we just don't match up good. Those 2 games, we got killed by people that ain't got business getting killed by, bench players dropping threes on us all day. Like, That's what I'm worried about. Klay, it's so much stuff we don't understand. Like that people don't understand how good Golden State is. Because you gotta think about it. When Klay come back, he's coming back to the best Steph Curry we ever seen. I think we can argue that. This is the best part of Steph Curry we ever seen. So him coming back, even though Klay is a threat, people still gonna have their eyes locked on Steph. He's constantly running through screen, constantly running. Klay gonna get his. Klay gonna drop 15 without ease. He could be 40% healthy and drop 15 easily.
Yeah.
15, 20 easily. And the reason why he don't need to be 100% is because, bro, he got the baby gloves. He got Harrison Barnes, who's, I ain't gonna lie, but Harrison Barnes proved me wrong. I ain't gonna lie. He got way better.
Yeah.
He got way better. So Harrison Barnes, who we also got to hope we can lock down Harrison, people like that. It's just stuff like that.
There's a lot of weapons.
A lot of things.
A lot of weapons.
Yeah, it's a lot of weapons. There's a lot of weapons we got to worry about. And yeah. And then with the Bulls, like I say about the Bulls and all our Bulls fans, let's chill on the trade talk, please. Y'all problem is y'all keep talking about one more piece. What if that one more piece mess up the whole chemistry? Y'all don't think about that.
I mean, what adding a big man's gonna mess up their chemistry? I don't really. Did I hit the wrong thing there, dog? What happened there? Good Lord. My bad, dog. I hit the wrong thing there. Adding a big man is gonna mess up their chemistry?
No, I'm not arguing that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on what you're going to get. Like, anything can add up their chemistry or mess up the chemistry, or it could add to it. That's the way you got to look at it. Like, we do have a problem. We got a problem with rebounding.
Yeah,
it's Vooch and nobody else.
It's definitely a problem.
Yeah,
it's most definitely a problem. But like, I don't know if going to get a Christian Woods or a Jerry Grant is our answer. Those are 2 people that's used to scoring. We don't need another scorer. In my opinion, I don't think we need another scorer. We need somebody that we can depend on getting rebounds.
Yeah, Jerry Grant ain't even a major rebounder. Christian Wood is interesting,
exactly,
just because of what we said. Jeremy Grant, Jeremy Grant absolutely in a rebounder. Yeah, but no, Christian Wood's interesting just because of what's happening down there. We're gonna get into that a little bit too. He's interested just because of what's happening.
This is my last thought. Christian Wood, y'all do realize Kobe is not enough. We're not just gonna get Christian Wood for just some Kobe. P. Will is out of the question. We're not getting rid of P. Will, so y'all can stop saying that.
You never know, man.
We don't really have, for these big old pieces, we don't really have what they want. So I just say, go look for, like I said, go get the Derrick Favors of the world, maybe a Robert Covington, get those. But these big old pieces, let them go. Let them go.
Appreciate the call, Steve-O. Stay safe out there, man. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. You too, bro.
All right, man. Peace. You know what? It's interesting, though, because, like, at no point did you think either Kevin Porter or Christian Wood might be an option, right? But then you see what happens down there. Then you see what happens down there, and you sitting there looking at it like, do he not want to be there? Maybe. Now Kevin Porter for me, there's no reason to go get him. That's the first thing Muggs said. Just like, hey, can he be a rebounder? No, he's like 4 rebounds a game. And I agree that you would absolutely have to give up a lot to go get Christian Wood. But is the potential of P. Will worth more than the known of Christian Wood being a double-double player? He's averaging a double-double right now. And it's not like you destroy your future by going to get him. He's 26. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I love having young players. I love having the young guys, right? But what do the good teams do? I love developing the young guys. What do the good teams do? You develop your young guys while you win. You don't have to trade Ayo Dosunmu. He's a piece you can develop. Maybe Marko Semenovic finally becomes something at some point. I don't know why they brought him over so early. If they didn't, maybe they want to start working him out and stuff like that. But maybe it's something that develops. And you know what, Steve-O in the chat as well. He says, y'all gonna be mad if he turns into Kawhi. I'm not. You know why? I got Zach LaVine. I got DeMar DeRozan. I got Vooch. And I would have Christian Wood. Is the potential better? See, this is the thing, right? We love the unknown. We love the unknown because the unknown is safe. The unknown makes you feel good. The unknown is he could be this. He will be this. Has he been that? No. I'm not saying P. Will can't develop. I'm not saying P. Will can't have a development that is Jordan Poole-esque. But you can't honestly look at what P. Will has done on the floor and say, other than defensively, that he's been that dude. There's a guarantee there. Is it a lower ceiling? Maybe. But there's at a minimum a guarantee with Christian Wood that he's 16 and 10. And by the way, he's not doing it on a lot of shots. Couple of games where he's got a ton of shots in there, but most games, about 9 to 14 shots. Shots we'd like to see P. Will take. It's one of those things where we love the potential. We love what it could be. Same thing with Mitch. We love the unknown with Mitch. But once you find it out, is it worth it now? Because the unknown is tradable. I'm not saying you trade P. Will, but let's be 100% clear. The unknown is tradable. Listen, I got this piece when he's aggressive. He absolutely can score 20-something a game. He does a good job defensively. He's got good length. He's got great hands. They're comparing him to Kawhi Leonard. That's unknown, but it could be that. I'll send you him and Kobe. You send me Christian Wood. And the one thing the kid is absolutely right about is that we love to hold on to the unknown here. We love to hold on to the unknown. Lowry was the unknown. Wendell was the unknown. Y'all know me. I love the development of it. But you've got a piece you can develop here in Ayo Dosunmu. You're still going to keep drafting every single year. But would you rather have the unknown until you know? And I do think P. Will's going to be good. I really do. I do think P. Will is going to be that kind of player. I don't know if he'll be at the heights of Kawhi Leonard, but I think he'll be a Kawhi Leonard type of player. And I'd love to hear from you. Call into the Contender phone lines. We got time here in this second hour for some phone calls. But if I'm being 100% honest, I want the Bulls to go for it this season. The future might not happen. How many of us in here thought that we would be without D Rose? How many of us in here ever thought we'd be trading D Rose? How many of us in here ever thought D Rose wouldn't be the same player coming back from injury? How many of us thought that? How many of us thought he wasn't going to get a ring? But we held on to the unknown. We love the unknown so much that we traded Jimmy Butler for Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn and a pick. Now it's worked out here, right? It's worked out now. I like it more now. But we traded for the unknown. Zach LaVine at that point was a nice three-point shooter that could jump. We traded for the unknown. We took a chance on it. Chris Dunn, can he be a nice defender in this league? The unknown. We got the pick that turns into Larry Marketing, the unknown. What did Jimmy Butler go to do since then? He's been to an Eastern Conference final. He's been to the playoffs out west with a team that he never should have got there with, and he's been to an NBA finals. But we got the unknown. That's the part that's tough. That's the part you got to weigh. Is it worth it to build a team that can absolutely, with Christian Wood, a lot of your fears are gone. It costs a lot. I don't even know if they want Christian Wood out of there. I really don't. We've thrown Christian Wood's name around, but with a player of that ilk, I should say, let's kind of take the specifics out of it. With a player of that ilk, where he's that good of a rebounder, where he comes in and he's able to get shot. You know what I'm saying? The Bulls are a different level team. That's just a fact. You can move Vooch to the 5 and Christian Wood to the 4 if you need to, or vice versa. The Bulls are a different level team. Raging says, nah, man, Woods may fit, but he's not a playoff proven or anything like that. People talking like he's been there. He is not. I don't need him to be. I'm not asking Christian Wood to come here and be the face of my franchise. I'm asking Christian Wood to come here and be a glorified role player with above average talent. I'm asking Christian Wood to be better than what Pat Will was at the beginning of the season. I'm not asking Christian Wood to come in here and be the Bulls' savior, be the Bulls' hope. I'm asking Christian Wood to box out and help Vooch on the boards. And by the way, if you give me 20 in the span of that, shout out to you, my boy. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not I feel like with all these people that are coming in, because we've been so devoid of talent for so long, that we really think like we're sitting here begging, we're looking for our next star. No, Zach LaVine is here. DeMar DeRozan is here. Nikola Vucevic is here. I need a dude that's gonna help them. I need a complimentary piece. And I understand that it might suck giving up P. Will if that trade is made. I get that. I think P. Will's going to be really good. I really do. I think P. Will's going to be a really good player. Just like I think Kobe White's going to be a really good player. But guess what? Sometimes you got to give up really good for right now. Are we going for this or not? Or are we cool with the Eastern Conference Finals? I'm not cool with the Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe this year. Maybe. And of course, because of where we came from last season, yeah, it's an upgrade there. For sure. You're first in the Eastern Conference right now. For sure. But are we going for a championship or not? Do we want an NBA championship or not? Because I'm looking to build NBA champions now while still developing talent. You know why Jordan Poole's a really good asset for the Golden State Warriors? Because Stephen Curry's already really good. Because that's already a championship team without Jordan Poole on it. Or championship level team without Jordan Poole on it. But Jordan Poole's giving me 30 last night. I haven't even added back in Klay. Haven't even added back in Wiseman. I'm adding Wiggins into the mix now. That's why Jordan Poole is a nice piece, is a nice developing piece. That's why Jordan Poole had the time to develop, because it didn't matter. See, that's the thing here too, right? Development is all rushed. You know when development's rushed? When you suck. We've sucked for a long time. That's why development is rushed. Now you got a winning team. Now you got a team that might be able to do it a couple of seasons. You know what I'm saying? Move in the right direction. Be able to consistently be at the top of the Eastern Conference. Team that a lot of people slept on. But now take that same team that now is at the top of the Eastern Conference and you add Ayo DeSumo in there after a year of development. Maybe you do hold on to everybody. P. Will develops. Kobe White develops. I'm fine with that. But if AK absolutely decides to say, listen, I'm going for it on the business side of things, I'm going all in. Let's go get this guy. I think he helps us rebound, and that's where we're missing out. That's where we're losing out right now. I could absolutely see him going for it. Let's go back out to the phone lines, man. Head out to the 773. Yo, what's good?
What's good, my guy? How you feel,
Man,
bro?
how you feeling, my boy? Good morning to you. Top of the morning. What's going on with you, man?
Man, I'm loving what you're saying right about now because that's what I've been saying to people for the last month.
Yep.
We need a stronger role player with some hustle to him. You ain't got to be a superstar. Just do the grunt work. That's what we need.
That's all I need. That's all I need from him. I don't need him to be great. I need him to be nice.
That's right. That's right. Give me a Clint Capella real quick. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? Get them boards, get nasty, be aggressive.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. No, 100% agree with you, man. 100% agree with you. Appreciate you for the call, my guy. Stay safe.
All good, man.
Have a good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have an awesome morning too. I'll holler at you later, my dude.
For sure. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And maybe giving up P. Will for that is too much. Maybe giving up Kobe for that is too much. Maybe. But I'm getting rid of the unknown for what we're seeing right now consistently be a guarantee. Now, Jeremy Grant, to me, I don't think anybody's actually looking at Jeremy Grant's rebounding numbers because he doesn't help us rebounding at all. He doesn't help us rebounding at all. Now, Jeremy Grant's another scorer. I don't need Jeremy Grant here. I like him. Nice player. He fits somewhere else. But I think that you got to find somebody to come in here and help Vooch. And maybe that is just waiting for the buyouts, going to get a Tristan Thompson. Maybe it is Ilyasova in here, although Mug's so hype about that deal, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I can't even I don't even know what to say about that. Like, it's like, yeah, he's nice. He's a nice piece. One, this dude old as dirt. Two, come on, y'all. I don't want to rely on Ersan Ilyasova going into the playoffs. He couldn't stay healthy when he was on Milwaukee going into the playoffs. It's maybe you do wait for the buyouts. Maybe you go get a Tristan Thompson. Maybe you go get a Derrick Favors, whatever it is. And that's all you need. But I'll tell you what. Christian Wood, due to the fact that AD is out, is probably an all-star game level play, an all-star level player. And as far as Christian Wood's concerned, he's talking about staying down there. You know what I'm saying? As far as I can tell with Christian Wood, as far as he's concerned, he's not looking to move out of Houston. Even after the suspension, even after all of that, you know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting to see if they want to move on from him. Now, Shay keeps saying Robert Covington. I don't want Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes a nice piece, but that's okay. But Robert Covington, right now out in Portland, getting fairly consistent minutes. It's only giving you 5 boards a game. In his last, well, I can't say his last 10 because he missed a few games in the middle of that. But in the last 10 games that they show here, he's had 10 rebounds one time. He's had 10 rebounds one time. Other than that, game with 8, game with 7, 5, 3, 5, 4. We're not just trading for pieces. We're not just trading for names. I need rebounding. There's one thing the Bulls need: rebounding. And so I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping on going all out, going to get like the one person I would get, because Miles Turner said he doesn't want to be a glorified role player anymore, is Christian Wood. It is Christian Wood. Or if you can, just go find a young big. Go find somebody that's just tall, man. Or maybe you don't. This is the thing that nobody's even taking into account, right? Maybe you don't got to move nobody. If you're the Bulls, maybe you don't. You got McKinney back last night. You're going to get Bradley back. Last night, Troy Brown gave you 8. McKinney only played 7 minutes, gave you 2. But at some point, you're going to get Caruso back. You're going to get Bradley back. You're going to get Green back. Although maybe Bradley was back last night. I don't know. I don't know if he was or not. I know he didn't play at all. I think he's still out. But Vooch gave you 17. Can you do the rebound by committee thing? But I'll tell you this, the drop-off is vast. I need consistency. Listen, Lonzo Ball gave you 7 last night. That helps. Troy Brown gave you 8. That helps. But the problem is those guys haven't done, well, Lonzo kind of has. Lonzo's done it consistently rebounding-wise. But Troy Brown and those guys haven't done it consistently, especially when there's another big down there. Golden State finds a way to win rebounding battles. They're not huge. Golden State finds a way to snatch away boards. They're not a big team. It's about having somebody that's going to get down there and do that dirty work for you. And I look at what Golden State has done. I look at teams like that. Heck, I'd be looking at Portland, because we're just talking about somebody that can go out there and help rebound. We're not talking about somebody that's going to be, oh my God, this dude snatching boards left and right. Maybe you go get Nurkic. Because at this point, we're looking for bench pieces. We're not looking for, like, the team is set. Your playoff team is set. The Bulls are set. Raging says you still need the 4 to space the floor. I don't have a 4 right now that really spaces the floor. Javonte can a little bit, but nobody closes out because he's not consistent enough with it. Derrick Jones Jr. hits that corner 3 every now and then. I don't even have a power forward that's on the floor. Heck, and when P. Will was in there, P. Will didn't take shots. Now, it's not like he was passing up a ton of shots. Pass up a couple of games. But he wasn't spacing the floor for us. I need somebody that's going to be in the paint, able to crash the glass. I'm not saying he's got to stand down there. I'm not saying that he's got to sit in there and that's all he does is just be in the paint. He can be on the wing. He can be on the outside. But you know what? Vooch needs help. You know how I know? Because I can look at the game. Look at the rebounds last night. It's the best rebounding game I've seen, and it's because Lonzo came back. 17-7, 3-3, 5-2, 2-8, 2. Y'all been watching just like I've been watching. Y'all been on the live calls just like I've been on the live calls. Is that the norm? You've got one dude that averages 11.6. You don't have another dude that averages over 6 rebounds on the team. You've got one dude that averages almost 12 rebounds a game. You don't have another dude that averages over 6. That's wild, man. That's wild. Interesting topic. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with me this morning, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page if you're up this early. We appreciate that love. It would appear that the Washington football team has decided to unveil their new nickname on February 2nd. Just a fun topic to finish things off this morning, man. Where did they go with it? I got to see what some of the options are here. Let me see if I can pull this up here. I got to see what some of the options are here, dog. Let's see some of the name finalists. The 3 finalists, list of final 3 not revealed. All right, cool. The 3 finalists are there's a list of 8 right now going in on this. The Washington Armada, the Washington Brigade, the Washington Commanders, the Washington is this current? This is current. The Washington Defenders, the Washington Presidents, the Washington Red Hogs, the Washington Red Wolves, or the Washington football team. Just sticking with that one, huh? I don't know if that's the most current list right there. Let me see. We've got an update on popular name options, sneak peek at a jersey. I'm trying to see what this is, dog. Like I'm really trying to see what their game plan is on these names, dog. And they really don't have nothing up here. The name will not be the Wolves or Red Wolves. So I guess it is still off of that. It's off of those names. So it's awful. Yeah, same names there. Red Hawks Defenders, Armada President's Brigade Commander. All of these are terrible names, bro. These are terrible names. Steve-O, exactly. These Madden franchise names. These are terrible team names. Is it because all the cool ones were taken by colleges? Like, if I'm going to go Red Hawk, I'm instantly thinking Razorbacks on that one. Yeah, I'm saying? Like, Razorback is a cool name. Let's see. What's Washington State animal? I really want to figure this out for them because this is terrible. Would be pretty ironic. The name the Defenders, Commanders are more appropriate considering the location. Yeah, exactly. They got preset names. Dog, it's terrible. The Washington yes, Joe, shout out to you, dog. The Washington football team absolutely sounds better. I guess it would be dog, they don't got nothing. It's bad. It's bad. I like the first one I ever had. I mean, dog, these are really basic names. It's pretty terrible. Like if we're looking at what could come, like I almost want you to double it up, like or do something stupid, like go all the way in the Washington Georges. You know what I'm saying? The Washington Monuments. It's like they're not even trying, dog. Let's go out to the phone lines, man. Let's go out to Cornelius. He's on the phone. Cornelius, what's good, man? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm good, big bro. I'm good. How you doing today, sir?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Just enjoying this morning, man.
Absolutely, man. I just had a two-phase question. You know what I'm saying about Kyrie and Klay. We got to see, like you said, we got to see how he is. You know what I'm saying? Is he still in playing condition? Is he ready? You know, he
Yeah.
got to be conditioned, and not just playing wise, mentally. Is he ready? Is he all in? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because he could be in playing condition, and we all know how Kyrie is. He could be real wishy washy with that. And Klay, when it comes to Klay, what made him special that he can guard your best defender. You know, like I get it that you want him to be a spot up shooter, but what made him special, what made that team special, that he could put up and lock your best player down as well.
Yeah.
You know, he was probably the best 3-and-D player. So when it comes to them, Kyrie and the Nets, I'm not really worried about that because with Kyrie, it's like I said, it's all his mental. Now, if he's ready and he's all in and he's all in, then we got a problem.
Yeah.
But we got to see that, what I'm saying, before it happens, sir.
No, I agree with you, man. It's going to be a lot of mental for both of them. Absolutely. Great point, man. Appreciate the call.
Hey, man, always
Hey,
appreciate you.
before you go, what's your pick for the Washington team, man? What you got for so that they don't screw this up?
Washington Red Tails. Washington Red Tails, man, off
That's
the
not a
black,
bad
brigade,
name.
I think Washington Red Tails will be good.
I doubt they do it. Clearly they don't care about keeping it racially appropriate. So I doubt they do it. But nah, that's
Right.
not a bad name, man. Great call, man. Great call.
Thank you.
The Washington Red Tails. I would rock with that. I would rock with that. That's weird though, dog. I'm trying to find anything that makes like DC, yeah, the Washington Red Squirrels. Bro, like it's bad, dog. Is there any team? I mean, you can make any animal sound cool. Dog, it's DC. It's the state capital, or it's the capital of the country. Why aren't you going with the Washington? Oh, that's already a team. Never mind. Dog. That's bad, dog. That's gonna be a horrible name. That's gonna be a horrible name. No matter what they pick, all the names they got. The Washington Red Skulls, a little too close to the Red Skull, which was reminiscent, from Marvel. It might be a little bit too far. And yeah, I don't know if you could sell. Well, I guess the Raiders technically do skulls and stuff like that. I don't know if you could sell skulls to like the parents. The red coats are relaxed, dog. Fam, take it back to the old basketball team, man. The Washington Generals. I'd rally around that. Old Washington Generals. Is there still a trademark on that? Or switch the rank. Washington Colonels. Washington Admirals. Washington Captains. You know what I'm saying? Like Washington Generals, that's safe. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. I think they want to stay away from the red name. I think they went too hard on the Redskins for too long. So they probably want to stay away from anything red. Although they did throw some reds in there, didn't they? That's funny, man. Hey, listen. Washington Generals might be the best one. It really might. Wasn't that was the Wizards' old name, wasn't it? Who was the Generals? Somebody was the Generals. Wasn't that a team already? That was the Wizards' original name before they became the Bullets, right? In the ABA. Or take one of the old football teams that's no longer a team's name. You know what I'm saying? Like New Orleans moved from Charlotte to or New Orleans moved from Charlotte to New Orleans, and then before they became the Pelicans, they were still the Hornets. Just keep it going. You know what I mean? Keep it going. Let's take an old team. Washington Oilers. Hey, for Red, don't feel bad, dog. I definitely was oh, that's the team that played the Harlem Globetrotters. That's what it is. Oh, never mind. You can't take that name then. It is trademarked. Hey, pick a different rank. Washington Warhawks, not bad. Seeing as I'm from North Chicago, I'm a Warhawk myself, my boy. You know what I'm saying? Might have to cop a jersey. Washington Warhawks actually isn't bad. Hey, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with me another morning, man. Don't got a Bulls game for a while. Next thing we'll be live for is this. We'll be up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Me and Kidd back at it again, man. And then we've got we'll have clips and stuff dropping throughout the day. And we'll have so be on the lookout for that, man. All the support you guys have shown to the channel, I really do appreciate. Make sure you guys go check out the Contender as well, man. If you can't sit here and listen to me for the full 3 hours throughout the week, or you just need to be moving, you can pop the app on and you can hear us over on there as well, man. We appreciate all that love, man. I really do. I really do. You guys have shown so much support. The channel has grown so much. We're trying to get a lot of sponsorships. We're trying to get funding, get this to the next level, man. So let's make it happen, man. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. I'll see y'all bright and early tomorrow morning, man. Y'all stay safe out there.